This is the commissioner meeting of April 24th, correct?
Yes.
Okay, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Sussex County Administrative Center. Commissioner meeting room, 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner DeGroot?
Here.
Commissioner Hayden?
Here.
Commissioner Schick?
Here.
Director Space?
Here.
Deputy Director Carney?
Here.
Okay, I'm going to get a moment of silence and a salute to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4, public statement. That's a 7, right? Yes. Okay. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, PL 1975, has been made by regular mail and email, such notice being submitted on January 7th, 2024, from the Administrative Center of the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger, and is also posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for public announcements, and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with said act. At this time, please mute all electronic devices, and every meeting I ask my colleagues to please remove our phones off the dais and put them away. Thank you. Okay. Number 5, approval of agenda. We will be going out of order tonight. I'm asking for a motion to move to consider items 13, 14, 15, and 16 right after the approval of our agenda. I'm asking to also consolidate our 2 separate public sessions into 1 public session from the floor for all items to be heard after item number 6, proclamations, certificate presentations. I also would like to add an additional presentation by Gus Madla and Jenny Duell from the Sussex County Technical School. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Still moved.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney motion, and second, Commissioner Hayden. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Number 13, appointments and/or resignations. Resolution A, appointment of Ed Meyer as first alternate member to the Sussex County Planning Board to fill the unexpired term of John Dalmas, said term to begin immediately and expire December 31, 2025. And B, resolution, appointment of William Murata La Regina as a general public representative to the Sussex County Agriculture Development Board for a term of 3 years, effective immediately and expire on December 31st, 2026. Can I get a motion to adopt the resolutions A and B?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Schick and Deputy Director Carney seconds. Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Schick?
Yes.
Director Space?
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney?
Yes.
Okay. Number 14, resolutions A through V.
X.
X. A through X. Can I get a motion to adopt resolutions A through X?
Still moved.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney and Commissioner DeGroot. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Schick?
Yes.
Director Space?
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney?
Yes.
Awards of contract, number 15, awards of contract, change orders, bids. Resolution A through C. The Board of County Commissioners of the County of Sussex has reviewed the award of contract change orders bids consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that adoption of the said resolutions is in and will further the public interest. Can I get a motion to adopt resolutions A through C?
Still moved.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney,
Second.
Commissioner Schick, any discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Schick?
Yes.
Director Space?
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney?
Yes.
Okay, number 16, financial. Resolution A, payment of bills lists, April 24th, 2024. Can I get a motion to pay the bills lists? Okay. Commissioner Hayden and Commissioner DeGroot seconds it. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Schick?
Yes.
Director Space?
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney?
Yes.
Okay. Proclamation, number 6, proclamations, certificates, and presentations. We have 2 proclamations. One is recognizing the 30th anniversary of the Center for Evaluation and Counseling, and the second is a proclamation recognizing May as Older Americans Month, and we are not going to read them today because we're going to do that at a later date. We just needed to approve them today. And now we're going to go into a presentation by Gus Modlas, Superintendent of Sussex County Technical School, and Jenny Jewell from the Technical School. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I just want to really thank you guys for coming, and I just want to tell the people here that we hear your concerns, and we're hoping that we can all get some answers today. I'm a parent of 3 Sussex Tech graduates, 2013, 14, and 17. So the school is near and dear to my heart, and I want to see it continue to thrive, just like you guys, and I want to see all you kids graduate there and be as proud of your school as my kids are. Thank you.
So we came here invited to come to the meeting today, so to answer questions that you may have about the microphone.
If you, the microphone does not amplify, so just ask if you could speak up.
Okay. So we were asked to come here today to answer questions, and please feel free to ask us what you would like.
Okay, I have some questions. So one of my, I've been taking questions, and I'm sure the other commissioners have. We've been having parents have been emailing us, Facebook messages, phone calls, everything. They're very concerned about the 3 shops that are being cut. And before I ask a question, I'll say that I put myself in their shoes, and none of my kids' shops were cut while my kids were in school. I know one of them graduated from business administration, which is now gone. I had another one that was commercial arts, which is still there, and the other one was cosmetology. And I know how I would feel if one of my children were in a shop that was being removed, say at the end of their junior year they found out, or even the end of freshman year. So that's just a concern that I have. So I just jotted down a few questions, well, maybe quite a few, but we'll see where we go with them. And then a lot of the parents have reached out, and I highlighted a few of their questions. In the past 2 years, have any jobs been created in administration only?
In the last 2 years?
Outside of
This
the
year,
classroom.
there's no administrative jobs, but we did cut an administrator this year.
Okay.
Our child study team supervisor
Okay.
retired. We did not replace her, and the position was merged into an existing administrator who was in charge of guidance.
Okay.
There was a salary increase for that administrator due to taking on a full department of the whole nother staff.
Okay. And what is your, this question actually came to me yesterday by Sparta Mayor. What is your 5 to 10 year vision of Sussex Tech? Do you have plans to create new shops and phase others out?
No, we
Okay.
want to maintain our current programming based on, we have to revisit our board meeting, was all the personnel matters were tabled. So at this point, we're meeting with board members to discuss how we can move forward. We're back to looking at everything again, and we have to come up with a plan
Okay.
with our board. We did receive funding for our Securing Our Children's Futures Bond Act. We put that application in by 2016, 17. A bond act was awarded in 2018, and that bond act was for vocational schools throughout the state, a competitive grant. We were lucky enough to get county commissioner support. It's 75% state supported for the grant and 25% local. And the intent of the grant was to improve programming at the high schools, the 21 vocational schools in the state, and also provide for expansion. So we were halfway through the phase 1 was to demolition pool, and we are adding 2 classrooms in the back for allied health and a new program, sports medicine. That was part of the grant. We have to honor the grant and put that program in hopefully at the end of construction, which we hope to go out to bid probably in a few weeks. We went to Sparta Planning Board last week, and we got through that phase, and our architects putting together the bid packet. We were also going to add on to our engineering shop. We're going to add a classroom space so they can move the computers and teaching space outside of the footprint of the shop, so it gives the teacher some more space there and a better learning environment for students. And then in the grant, there was also money set aside for upgrades to electrical, HVAC, and mechatronics.
Okay.
So unfortunately, with the scale back of expenses, our first vision of that expansion had to be scaled back to what we could afford based on the construction prices of today.
Right, and now my question that led me to the next question, I was up last night reading hours of minutes from Sussex Tech, which your minutes were taken well, I will say that. I had an easy time reading through them. And you just said now that 25% is funded locally, so, and I read that it was funded by the Board of Commissioners, so is that money that's already been allocated?
Yes, so
Okay.
the County Commissioner Board, when Greg Poff was still working
Okay.
at Sussex, we went back and forth, but then we worked to get that money secured through capital, through the county, so that 25% share comes from the County of Sussex, 75% share comes from the state of New Jersey.
Okay. I noticed too, which I've had questions with the parents, employee benefits went up. The health insurance, if health insurance premiums have gone up, are you committed to the plan you are in? Or
Right now,
did you recently switch?
We switched last year to
Okay.
a self-funded plan. Unfortunately, due to experience ratings that were high, we were going to see a much larger increase. So our broker came with us and discussed what's the best fit based on the school's experience rating. So we had the best spot was to go back into the state plan at the start of this cycle.
And that's
in January.
additional monies that's coming out of your operating budget this year?
Correct, yes.
That wasn't funded, okay. I've had people ask me, do you guys have a grant writer on staff?
We don't have one on staff, but we have a person who's from the county, and we use her as a per diem hourly rate.
Okay.
And she does help us with our Perkins grant
Okay.
and other things that we could work with her on.
I
So-
keep hearing that the engineering department, they write their own grants, like, was it maybe engineering? I'm not quite sure which
There
department.
may be a
does.
teacher too who puts
Okay.
something together and works with their department supervisor,
Okay.
but they don't have an individual grant that they
Okay.
work off of.
And I should say to the public that the county hasn't always had an individual grant writer. We, through ARPA funds last year, which is the American Rescue Plan Act, we were able to get a grant writer, and they brought in a lot of additional monies for us, and we are going to have the grant writer again next year because it was very successful to us. So it was worth what we're going to have to take out of our budget this year. It's worth it for us to have this grant writer. I want to say it was 30,000. Is that correct? Okay. And
If
yes,
I can interject.
I would love you to.
Okay, got you. I just want to ask you, because I am a brother of two Sussex County Technical School
Yes.
graduate. You're actually cutting his former program, which is, I couldn't imagine the families, going through that, of course.
Which
My
program was
brother.
that?
Graphic communications, graphic design, yeah. I just wanted to ask, what criteria or data did you use to determine those three programs and cutting them, potentially, of course?
And again, as a parent myself, we are sensitive to the students and the parents. We want to have all of our students at Sussex Tech to be successful. We were faced with a challenge. We used the criteria of enrollment as a first look, interest coming in as incoming freshmen, and then how does that project for transition to senior year. So we identified shops that fit that criteria, and then we look at, as administrators, we looked at how do these programs fit the profile of Sussex County? They all do. We understand that. They all fit the profile of Sussex County. They're all very important shops, but we had to find a way to identify which ones we want to move forward and really look at the ones that have the CMLA, which is our Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment that goes through Perkins. And we wanted those programs that we have now that are more robust with enrollment. And unfortunately, these were the three programs that we decided to, in my first proposal to the board, to
Understood.
If shops don't have 10 students per grade, we don't receive Perkins funding for them. So that means we have to take that directly from our bottom line.
So Perkins funding is federal money that comes through the state of New Jersey, and the criteria, every shop is eligible, but the first criteria to be eligible, you have to have 10 students per grade level. And programs that don't, we can't use the Perkins funding towards, so all of our Perkins money that we're spending in the school is directed toward programs that have that first criteria.
So there are no shops that have less than 10 people. In other words, everything you cut was less than 10 people, correct?
There are other programs that do have low enrollment also, but we feel that they really, like agriculture, for example. We know that agriculture is a very important piece of Sussex County, and that is something we wanted to maintain as a program for the students at the school.
Something much bigger is going to be phased out because there was lower enrollment, something else that you thought.
Correct, but we feel that by opening opportunities, we could still allow students to transition to another program. Again, if the plan was to work with parents to allow the students, for example, in graphics, design, and communication, they can merge in if they wanted to into commercial art. It's a similar same certification of Adobe that the students will have a chance to take when they're seniors in that program. And same thing with if the recommendation for architecture had been passed, we were going to look at transitioning those students into maybe engineering, the construction cluster, areas that fit their profile as students.
Now with,
And then lastly, for theater,
I've got to piggyback on it yet again.
because I'll finish this and I'll answer your questions. And in theater, we did decide that due to certification, the staff member could continue working at Sussex Tech, teach intro to theater to all the students at Sussex Tech. It would be their fine art graduation requirement, and still allow for the 10 seniors in the program to graduate next year as seniors, to allow those students, because it's a big senior class, and we want to have those students have the opportunity to graduate under their theater arts program, allowing still, and we're going to have the drama club next year, which was really important. We saw those students, we heard them. We want to make sure that they have that opportunity going forward. And all students at Tech will have a 1-year intro to theater program if that initial plan was approved as a graduation requirement in fine arts.
you mentioned like the seniors, but are those current 8th graders getting into those programs? Was, I guess, the transition going to be for graphic to
Yes, well,
approach them to get into?
Same plan. First step would be room in this program, similar to what you applied for. If you would like that, fine. If not, there's another opening that you might be interested in. We were going to work one-on-one with families.
So you said there were several factors in the determination of what you cut. Do you have an SOP, a protocol, a flow chart? I mean, is there something the public can see so they can understand what you did and how you did it, how you came?
I don't have a written protocol, just conversations we've always had with the administrative team to say, a lot of our decisions for how a program looks is directed from the Department of Education through the Career Readiness Office, who manages all the career and technical education programs. So our vice principal, who does that job, has to follow their guidelines. For example, it was mentioned at the meeting that vehicle maintenance closed, and that was accurate. But vehicle maintenance was a lower program in terms of high skill, high wage, high demand. That's the 3 criteria that the state uses in determining the rigor of a course. So when we get notified of these changes, vehicle maintenance would not be considered a career and technical education program any longer, and it wouldn't be eligible for Perkins funding. So we did phase out that program. Our teacher remained on campus. We transitioned that person into our automotive program and diesel, and through retirement, one of the teachers left, and he just continued taking on that program. So programs do evolve and change, and we have to follow the guidance of the Department of Ed.
So these guidance documents, are they available for everybody to see?
If you go into the state website, there's the career readiness CTE standards that you can find on the website. Or you could come to our school and the parents could meet with us and we could go over our program approvals and what it looks like.
And I have another
And
question.
there's also, there's also guidance on our website for outlines of what each of our programs looks like.
Director, may I say something?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
I would suggest that we made that readily available to the parents. They're all here.
Okay.
I would suggest that they shouldn't have to go on a wild goose chase to find that information.
Exactly.
I think Commissioner Hayden brings out a good point. Parents want answers. Where do we get it? Can we furnish that via email to the distribution list you have for the parents? Maybe through any other means of communication so that they can find it very easily and understand?
Could it be put up on the website possibly?
So we can make links from the Department of Ed web page to our website.
That would be very helpful because a lot of these parents are very upset it's changing.
Okay.
It's going to change the life of their child.
So going there, that's just general knowledge about programming. It's not about the criteria or the discussions we had. That's not something the state would guide us on. We're just following the outlines and the criteria that puts in place what we teach in the classroom.
Do you think going forward it might be better to have set up an SOP, a protocol, so that there would be no guessing, everybody would understand what was done in the decision?
We could do that, but my goal is to not ever go touch base and have to come back and say we have to close the program. That's our goal.
Could happen, no?
But it could happen. I will
Well,
definitely.
we want to be ready for it.
So
Huh? Well, yeah, it has happened. Could happen again. Right.
we can investigate.
I think that's something you really need to work on so that somebody has an answer without
Understood.
a lot of people calling.
Okay, we will do that.
Director,
Yes, yes.
do you mind if I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to be as nice as I can. So, Gus, when you came here for your budget, we had no clue, us commissioners had no clue you guys were in the hole that you're in. You never told us that. Well, you did tell us that you're going to have to cut a couple things and that you had teachers' contracts coming up. That's what you told us. But let me tell you, you asked for $7,957,121. We gave you $7,907,000 and $7,907,116, which was a difference of $249,000. That's what we gave you, or 2.85% of the past year. Again, never knowing that you're going to be in this hole. It strikes me very odd if you have a problem or you need something that you should come to us, right? We're the ones who set your budget for you, that we're in this predicament today. All these people around here that have to come to this meeting when they be home with their families, as us here, right? And we're dealing with this. It's a little disturbing. VOTEC is a good school, or technical school, I apologize, is a good school, and I just don't understand why we're here. That's number one question, okay? Your enrollment, from my understanding, is it's about $2,500 per student. That's what you get from the sending districts.
It's set 2,700 next year.
27, so you're raising it $200, is that correct?
250.
So when I used to attend the High Point meetings, and per pupil at High Point was around $26,000 per pupil. That was years ago, maybe it's changed, but it was right around there. Montague was paying about $19,000. How is that, how are we only paying $2,500 per student? Is there an equation? Is there some kind of variable, some kind of math
Yes.
that we come up with?
All right, so Jenny could go over the first, how we got here, the question of how, over the last 7 years, what the impact of flat funding from the state has caused at Sussex Tech, and also, quite frankly, the whole county is in a position where the state funding formula is really affecting education throughout the county. So Jenny could speak about those factors.
Well, before we start, that may be true, and other municipalities and school systems have been cut, and you haven't. I understand flat doesn't necessarily mean cut, but with inflation, it really is a cut. I get all that. I don't know how the numbers work. But, Superintendent, when you were here last, you told us that you had a waiting list of people to come in and that your enrollment was substantially higher than you thought, and that you were very positive about the enrollment, the extra funding, and you were a little bit more jubilant, in your presentation regarding that positive information to us. And unfortunately for me, I just can't wrap my hands around how we can have that meeting at 4 o'clock here. Everything is great, and then just not even a week or so later, the information was different. And I'm sorry for, getting in the way, but this is very emotional for all of us to say we don't feel good about that presentation.
We found out, just like the parents probably did, on social media.
Correct.
This is how we found, like, just scrolling through Facebook thinking, whatever, and then all of a sudden there it is. So then you start like clicking things and investigating, come to find out that there's, a hole in the money, and I heard a rumor of 800,000. I don't know the exact figure, and I sit on the Board of School Estimate, and if that was, the Board of School Estimate meeting was before we passed our budget, so our hands are tied. There's nothing we can do as commissioners to fix this problem. And we are dealing with the problem. We can't sit on your school board. We do appoint the people on the school board, and we just recently appointed one. It's a board made up of Republicans and Democrats, and the one we just appointed was a Democrat, which I think was a good choice. He is, like me, a former parent. He had at least three kids that graduated from Tech, so he has a passion for the school, and he has school board experience. But the college has term limits here. The Board of Trustees can serve 2 4-year terms. That's not an option at the Sussex Tech, because we did look into that. But when it comes time for reappointments, we might be reappointing some new board members after long term, like maybe people are ready for some change. We've had parents today, my email was flooded today with parents like begging for a citizens advisory committee, and it's from the board's vision, from your website, and I would hope that you take the parents up on the citizens advisory committee, and that would be a good start, I think, for re-earning the trust of the families in your school.
We did pass that information on to the board, and we're going to investigate that.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
When I spoke at that meeting for the Board of School Estimate, I had positive comments about one phase of funding that I control. That is student tuition. That's it. That was my positive. I was asked, does this budget represent cuts? And I said yes, and programs. I said that. I was directly asked.
I did ask that.
You asked about the line for security, which represented a cut, and I explained that. So I don't believe I came here in a jovial way. I came here with facts. And Jenny will provide that data about how we got here from your first question, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll start with tuition, because we have 3 sources of revenue at Tech. We have tuition, we have tax levy from county commissioners, and we also have state funding and federal funding.
And just to go back to the question, or I think Gus actually said it, the state aid, obviously we know that it's cut throughout the county, but you guys didn't get cuts, am I right?
We didn't get cuts, but from 2012 to 2024, we only received an increase of $34,000 in state aid.
Okay.
All of those increases happened prior to 2017. So between 2017 and 2024, we received a 0% increase in state aid. At the same time, in 2016, 17, and 19, we received a 0% increase from the county commissioners. So we were flat funded both ways. We were flat funded through commissioners, and we were flat funded through the state.
What was the year that the commissioners did that, please?
2016, 17, and 19, we received 0. So we were
That was a long time ago,
It was a
too.
long time ago, but it catches up.
Things compound.
So-
Understood. Like I said to you as well, though, we gave you 289,000, is that what I
We
said?
truly appreciate
249,000.
your increase this year, and I've said that on several occasions. It's a very good increase, but again, looking at the history of this flat funding and county support, it's compounded, and Jenny could further explain how that has impacted us.
Okay, I hate to interrupt, but the county attorney just told me that we have exceeded capacity and we're gonna have to adjourn, unfortunately, which is not what I want. I mean, this is absolutely.
If I may say
Yes.
something.
Reduce the capacity so you don't have to adjourn?
So, let me, on what I told her what we should do, we kind of thought this was gonna happen. We can't just move the location. Nobody here could just move the location today.
No, can I just reduce, can I leave and will that help?
What I'm saying is we advertise, as we said in the beginning of this meeting, we advertise these meetings in January for this location. In order to change the location, we would have had to publish
I'm
it.
not asking you to change
I
the
understand that, but I'm not telling anybody that they have to leave. I'm just saying right
But
now.
if we volunteer to
with-
leave and
with,
enough people leave and the parents can speak and then you.
I'm just saying that at this point we're at capacity. It seems that the doors keep opening. More people come in that would like to come and be part of this meeting. At this point, they are prevented from doing so due to capacity. That's my concern right now.
How many have to leave?
I can't answer that because I just see a bunch of people and the door keeps opening.
Is it a capacity of the building?
It's the capacity of the room.
The fact that there are people waiting out there is part of the problem, though.
Yes, because I don't want to adjourn the meeting.
This board does not want to adjourn the
don't wanna
meeting,
adjourn
but
the meeting.
legally, we have an issue right now.
Cancel the meeting and try to adjourn. Out in the hall, please. Appreciate it.
Yep.
There are seats available now.
I think we're good. I'm good to go with.
If anybody would like to be part of this meeting, please come in.
It's just so unfair. I can't do such question.
All right, folks, so it looks like they're ready.
Okay, at this point, based upon what I see in the room and right outside in that hallway directly, the board can proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jenny, continue with
So, our tuition, we are limited to what we can charge for tuition, and that is based on a state funding formula. So what happens is after my audit, I get my audit in November, I get my reports in December, and I have to upload it into the state budget software. At that point, the state goes in, they utilize a formula to determine what our tuition cap is. I get what's called a tuition certification for the previous year. So, like just as an example, if I was charging $5,000 a student this year, but when I got my tuition certification, it said I could only charge $2,500, I then have to reimburse each of our sending districts the $2,500 per student that we overcharged them the following budget year. So
no fault to you, it just seems like that's a little bit of a broken
it is.
equation.
It is.
So basically, and listen, I'm a Mount Side Point and some others as well. So if I'm correct with my $26,000 number, they're giving $2,500 plus transportation, right? Because they're paying for transportation, and they're walking away with $22,500. If my math serves me right, or $23,500. That's correct.
So wait, repeat that?
So basically, if it's per pupil $26,000, and they're giving votes at $2,500 or $27,000,
yes,
however you
yes.
want to add it, we'll go $3,000 for
Yes.
just the sake of it. They have that money basically surplus for them. They don't have the student; they just put that in their pocket. I just want to understand that math is just not doesn't work for your situation.
Yeah.
I feel like you're getting robbed a bit.
So
Yeah.
our
But we
number,
have no
so our
control.
Right?
our number from last year, not this previous audit, but from last year, we always work 1 year back. The letter we received from the state was your tuition go to $2,700. So we're at that cap from that previous audit.
And it should be a lot more.
Unfortunately, the way the formula works for Sussex Tech is that we have a low ability to raise tuition further than that at this time.
Okay, that goes to my next question. Is your shortfall $800,000 as Director Space asked? Is it?
So when we build the budget, we come in October. Our budget school budgets start after January.
Right.
So we're so far ahead, we can't forecast, like Jenny can't plug in what, she can find out some of our increases for healthcare, for example, and other things. So we do our best to estimate those big increases. We have our salaries we put in there. So when we came in October, we didn't have all those figures yet, because the way it works with us, they come in trickling in through.
Typically January through March is when I'll get all of my vendor updates with any increases that they have. And that's also when my state aid number is released. It's 48 hours after the governor's budget address. So I don't receive that number until just about March. This year, I think it was February 28th that I got our state aid number. So I don't have a full budget until we're towards the end of March. I don't have a full idea of what our expenses are going to be for the next fiscal year until towards the end of March, when I start getting my renewals for health insurance, for all of our software systems, all of that.
And then we plug in what we think, what the administrators are going to need for the departments, and that happens in December, January with us. So that's when we start getting into current school year to next year. So the budget, we knew we were going to, we asked for a 3.5% increase initially. That was Jenny's first budget we submitted. She actually submitted 3 options, correct?
Yep. Yeah. We
And-
went with 3.5.
So that's when we came, we knew that we were losing ESSER money, we talked at the meeting, which over the last 3 years, how much did we receive in ESSER money that we no longer get?
So starting March 20th, 2020, we received ESSER 2 and ESSER 3 funding, which is a federal grant that all of the school districts had received. We received in ESSER 2 $250,000, but that ended September 2023. So last year we lost that additional funding. This year, September 2024, we're going to lose the rest of ESSER 3 funding, which is $601,690, which is a total of $850,011. That is no longer available to us.
And you guys have a contract for the teachers coming up this year?
We have 1 more year of a contract and then start negotiations next year.
So it's going to get a lot worse. This isn't going to get better anytime soon.
Well, there is conversation, which is positive. On March 13th, we're members of the New Jersey Council of County Vocational Schools. There's a lot of dialogue now about some districts in different regions of the state that haven't seen cuts in state aid are starting to see that. We have an executive director, Jackie Burke, who advocates for the council, all 21 vocational schools. So 8 years ago, when we were faced with S2 implementation, Sussex Tech would have lost money in the funding formula and 4 other county vocational schools. So we advocated as a group, we have a louder voice as a group, and we were able to become flat funded. So whatever we lost from adjustment aid, the state recognized it's more expensive to run a vocational high school. Like we talked about costs going up, just in our culinary department. The amount of increases in food or welding for steel from where we were 7 years ago to now, it's grown significantly. So we had an adjustment in vocational support through the state that kept us flat. But we're advocating that flat is not going to make it work for us. So Jackie Burke did testify at a hearing at Trenton on March 13th to advocate for these discussions. We feel that we will be at the table once the governor and his staff and other state officials begin discussions on state funding. And I talked to Jackie today just to confirm, and she said, yes, we will be at the table, and we are going to advocate for vocational schools that have been flat. So we want to continue that we don't have to come here next year and be in the same situation, that we want to see an increase in state funding because we have to survive.
Understood. 3 years ago when I got here, I met with Dr. Conley and yourself, whether it be at the budget. I actually took a tour with him. I specifically asked both of you guys to meet and do shared services together. Dr. Conley said Gus doesn't want to meet, nor does his board, and you told me the same thing about Conley.
Well,
I could care less who's saying what, the truth. The point is you guys don't meet and you don't do shared services. You guys are doing the same programs from my understanding. I know you do college credits at your school. I just don't understand why you're not working together. You don't have to like the guy, nor does he have to like you.
I don't recall that conversation where you said
Okay.
I had to.
To back up what you said, I've heard the same.
Okay, I'm sure that's a conversation that's out there.
Why-
One of the goals we had this year was to work closely with the college, and we've had several meetings with Dr. Conley and Corey Homer. They come to our school. When we talk about shared services, we look at how are we going to help students. And you're right, we have the large dual enrollment courses in the county, credit-wise. We have our seniors who enroll in public safety students are over at the college. We have students We have a new agreement for allied health. So our discussions are about students and opportunities. In the past, we did talk about looking at using facilities between the two buildings, and that it was just a difficult lift. And then the county did support the college to open McGuire properties and their career program. So that's a thing from the past, and the college is providing opportunities for students, and we want to provide opportunities for our students to go up to the college. We have the optics program on our campus, which is a transition program. Hopefully they go to the college, and that could lead to employment over at Thor Labs. So we focused on that. In terms of shared services, the high school and the college, I don't understand. It would be hard to grasp unless we're sharing like classroom spaces.
Well, why not?
Well, when McGuire was built, that was a decision from the college to put those tech programs over there. I wasn't part of that conversation.
And that's the point, right? You should be, right? Again, I've been here for 3 years, and I told Commissioner Schick earlier, I'm not the liaison. He's liaison to the college and VOTEC. If I was him, I would tell you guys you're going to meet. End of story. You guys want money from the county? You're going to meet. That's how I would handle it. I am not the liaison. So, again, I told you 3 years ago, I do have to put some blame on your board. We do have a new board member. The board is supposed to look after you guys and watch what you're doing, what you're spending, and so forth. You got a contract when your contract wasn't up. To me, that's very odd. They did it in Frankfurt. I didn't like it there, and I don't like it here. All right? Your contract wasn't up.
This past contract was up. It was the 5th year of my contract.
That was your 5th year?
This current contract I started, it was up at the end of that.
Yeah, I thought they redid that when you had 4 years. No? It wasn't your 4th year?
Last year was my 5th year of that contract.
Okay. Well, I'll believe you on that one. Going back to, as Commissioner Space said, we can't do term limits. But what I do want to put in, as long as you guys are good with it, a vetting process for the new board members. I would like to see who wants to be a board member and look at their resume before we appoint them. Because complacency, what I see is it's just no good. Doesn't work. Board members and commissioners, the same. You get lazy. You're here, you vote. It's like, yeah, fine. Give him what he needs, whatever. And this is what happens. You got a bunch of people here that we can't even get our business done because we have a filled room. So that needs to change too. Gail Carrick, she's the county superintendent. I don't know what she does. I got to be honest with you. I don't know if you have any dealings with her. My dealings with her haven't gone anywhere. She should be overseeing not only your school, but all the county school and make sure things like this shouldn't happen. So I'm going to throw a little blame her way too. I personally have no confidence whatsoever in what's going on there. And I will be motioning to have a vote of no confidence here tonight. That's really all I have to say. Very disappointed in what's going on here again, because you sat across from me and things were not this bad. So I don't know what changed so drastically to, again, have this conversation, but not real happy. So that's all I have.
And I have 2 questions going back to the shops. What solutions and mitigation efforts have been explored and implemented after the deficit was detected? And was it successful or not? Sorry, Commissioner Hayden has a health situation. He'll be back.
Can I rephrase the question?
Oh, sorry about that. What solutions and mitigation efforts have been explored and implemented after the deficit was detected? Like, what did you try to do to save these shops? Because there was some point when you guys realized that you had to, get rid of shops, like to cut them out. Like,
on that agenda was the proposal to the board. They tabled it. So ours was to eliminate those 3 programs.
well, there had to be a point before that, because if we all knew on social media before it hit, I would hope your board knew before social media.
Yes, so I'm saying, but that process was held up after the board tabled it. They saw the parents in the audience. They wanted to hear from them before they made a final decision.
Right. And I will say it's nice to see so many parents that care about their children's education.
If I may update the board, we have received quite a few, I've received quite a few emails today of many interested individuals who have put together resumes for interest on the Board of Education.
Very nice. Give them my email.
Director, to follow up on your question, I didn't get the answer that I think you were looking for.
No.
And that was, we didn't just find out last night that we don't have this
Right,
money.
or Thursday.
right? Or Thursday last week when I was in a 5-hour plus meeting listening to the parents. I mean, I understand you have to forecast. How many years do you forecast in advance? And the numbers had to be somewhere. They didn't just all of a sudden drop out of the sky.
And you guys have been doing this a while, so for this to come out of left field like this, how? Like he said, you didn't come to us, when you came to us, you didn't say there might be a problem. There wasn't a hint of a problem. Now all of a sudden, you guys have done budgets for years and there's a problem.
I disagree with that. We came in October, we said that we were faced with challenges, we were losing ESSER money, and we did the same thing at the Board of School Estimate meeting. We have sort of made it through several years of flat by teachers who retire, you get breakage. Teachers who left that we could merge a teacher into another program, we've done that. We've eliminated administrator this year. So we are conscious about how we spend money. Looking at coming to ask, we have the percentage of the county has been very consistent, around 2%. So for us to come and ask for 3.5, that's above and beyond what we've ever asked for in terms of what the county can provide. If we were going to ask for a huge increase, I don't know, would the county have provided 10 to 15% increase? I don't see that happening. So we understand the constraints of everyone, and it really goes back to the state funding formula that put us in this position.
Yeah, I just don't see how we ever bring on more shops if we can't, like, I see a downward spiral. If we have to cut 3 shops now, how will we ever get money to increase shops or to change with the times?
Again, a lot of the changes in programming could be within the program itself. In terms of how the state tells us the allied health program should move forward. So those changes have happened throughout the renewal process. Once we renew a program, it's just not once and finished. That process is cycled. We have to do that with when the state puts out the broadcast of what shops have to be renewed. They're adding rigor or different pathways within those programs. So it's a constant updating based on the state's plan of updating the curriculum for those programs.
I said I wasn't going to say anymore. Just one more thing. Well, maybe. You said you didn't want to come to us and ask for more, and you're probably right. We probably wouldn't give you more, but you should have put yourself in that position to ask us and let us be the ones who said no, because then we would be aware that you have this shortfall. And then when people come to us and email us and text us and call us, we could explain why. Hey, he did come to us. He was doing the right thing. You have a good school, right? I think everybody here knows that. You have a waiting list. I think the only enrollment that's maybe around the same is Newton. It's a good school. It's a lot different from when I went to High Point. We called it a different name.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Much different.
So, again, just the disappointing part there in this position. I would have asked for 5 or 6%. Maybe you would have got 3. I don't know. But you took it. You could have took it off your back and put it on ours, and then everybody would have known. We tried. But you didn't.
And there's a big difference between we have challenges and we're closing 3 shops. It's off, that's volume's off, I don't know why it keeps doing this.
I just want to take the moment to remind the board, remind the audience to please mute your electronic devices. Director Space had indicated so at the beginning of the meeting.
And also Commissioner Hayden.
No, I have been muted, I don't know why it's...
Zero tolerance on this board.
I turned it off now.
Okay.
And if I could add,
Yes.
Director Space, you mentioned conscious spending money. Was there any consciousness of saving money? I know that Commissioner Carney brought up a great point of collaboration between the tech school and community college. And I'm not liaison to the tech school, I'm liaison to Sussex County Community College, and we just had a meeting, and I told President Conley, you guys are going to sit down and talk, and we're going to look and see how we can, get these efforts going. But I want to bring up collaboration because I do have a colleague that approached you a number of years ago. He's an executive at a car manufacturer, and he looked at collaborating with your auto diesel program. And from his perspective, you said it's all good and dandy, and then he never heard from you back. And instead of wasting his time, he went over to Bergen County, and he's doing great things over there. So hearing that. I want to do great for tech school and have those collaborations with, County Community College with these car manufacturers, but you're not giving me good faith when I'm hearing that and I'm hearing these other stories at the community college. Because what I'm doing with the community college is great stuff with Hudson Farms, and I have no problem expanding my role and helping, the tech school make those, connections as well, but I'm just not hearing it, and I'm wondering why there was no collaborations in maybe that instance, or...
I don't know the reference you're speaking of, but we do have partnership advisory boards. We're having partnership day, I believe, next week or week after, and that's where the partnership...
It was BMW.
Okay. I don't recall that.
Okay.
We do have our auto and diesel teachers are working with local. We put our kids out with CIE. They work some of at the county garage. So through the programs, we have advisory boards, and that is part of the process of working with local businesses.
So we'll make sure that we send hopefully 2 of us to your next meeting. I couldn't attend last week on a business trip,
May I ask?
but I did get 2 new sloths.
My question is, how many students are per teacher?
It depends on the program. So engineering, the teacher has a split shop, so he does freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors separately, and we take in 20 students for his program, and it drops down to, like we said, with agriculture. I'll use the example of graphic design, communication. I have the numbers here for their enrollment. Right now, for 23-24, he has 2 freshmen, 9 sophomores, 1 junior, and 10 outgoing seniors. So, again, it's based on interest and based on trying to get all the students into those programs.
All right, may I rephrase the question? How are you structured? How many students can your faculty handle per class?
We try to keep our academic classes between 22 to 26, 27 students.
22 to 26, and how many do you currently average?
In those classes? Mm-hmm. That's the average, and we try to keep it.
So they're full at that number?
Yes, unless it's a assistant support class for special education students, you have caps on how many students can be in there, and they have paraprofessionals.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to come to grips with is in our meeting, I think it was last Thursday, whatever day it was, and there was mention that there was 11 to 17 students per class. And I don't know if that was a real figure or not, so that's why I'm asking you. It seemed to be awfully low, especially by the, what we're saying you're being paid, or what the cost per student that's being distributed amongst the responsible parties. That would, if that is really an accurate statement and 22 is the right number, what is the maximum, and can we bring more students into our school and get that revenue?
We could bring more students in. For academic capacity, we probably would not want to exceed 800 students, because that would put our academic teachers in a position where their class sizes would be too large. And that's not a healthy environment for the academic needs.
Understood. What would be too large?
30, 35 students.
Okay. I agree. And many years ago when I went through school, we did have 25 to 30 in the class, and no larger than that. But I thought that the numbers that were communicated were rather low, and I saw an opportunity to maybe bring more students in and get the $26,000 per student.
No.
Is that what I got?
No.
2,000.
My example was $26,000 per pupil at High Point back in the day. Again, that might have changed.
Okay.
It's $2,500 now. They're looking for $2,700. So it's really pennies on a dollar. That's 10 students compared to High Point at 26, which is very weird. Again, that's not your fault. That's just something that needs to be looked into. Again, maybe Garrett, maybe.
Do we have any ideas how we can save these shops?
We're having discussions with the board, and we haven't made a final decision.
Okay. You can always include any of us that you want in your executive sessions. We would be happy to send our liaisons to the school.
We do have to make a decision by May 13th.
Okay.
That's our next board meeting. there'll be a special board meeting for personnel.
Okay.
Are there opportunities to phase out programs and not start the program for incoming freshmen? For instance, if you had a junior in a program, and instead of cutting that program, allow that junior to finish their year next year, but not allow a freshman to sign up for that program? Do we have that ability to at least let them finish their education, but not starting it with recruiting 8th, 7th, and 8th graders to come to the school under the pretense of possibly getting that program?
The initial plan that was put forth to the board that was tabled allowed for one of the programs to let that happen. The theater students would have had the chance, who are going to be seniors next year, to graduate. The students in the graphic design class would have had a chance to go into a very similar program where we could have even included some of that curriculum into it, and they still would have been on the same type of platform with the Apple technology and received the same Adobe credits. Going back to architecture, in that original proposal, we were going to try to see the students merge into maybe engineering or one of the trades, construction, electrical, carpentry, HVAC. So a light program, not the same, but that was what we were looking at that time. But we could go back and revisit what you're suggesting.
I think maybe for the short term that showing that commitment to the current enrollees in the school and not starting or recruiting 7th and 8th graders to come to the school under a pretense that they may not have that. So, for instance, what I'm thinking of is auto shop, right? I did a wonderful tour at your school with you. I thought it was beautiful. I thought everything was terrific. And I love what they do in the diesel engine repair facility. And I loved your comments. I thought it was great. And I wouldn't want somebody from Newton who couldn't get that same program at Newton High School enroll after leaving their 8th grade year either in McEwen or or Long Pond or here in Halstead to assume they can go to get that diesel program at your facility when you don't have enough to get them through all 4 years. So how do we get to that point where we understand we can sustain the curriculum we have for the freshmen that are signing up today and that they could get to the end and get their certificate? That's kind of, I think, what the parents want to know. I think that's what we want to know. How do we get a better climate around what's going on at the VOTEC? Working on the numbers, of course, is critical, and that's the bottom line. But we do want to see these children come to your school. We don't want them to go from theater to auto shop because we cut theater out at sophomore year. Nor do any of the parents that are here or that have been excused for the lack of size. So I think, that's the passion that they're very interested in finding out answers for.
So it goes back to, we can definitely take on more students. We have a room. We're looking at maybe 770 next year if everybody comes and stays. That's a positive. That drives up our tuition revenue. We'll revisit what we could charge next year. Maybe there'll be an increase. I'll come to the county next year and I'll ask for 10-15% and put it on your shoulders. You could say no. I was working historical facts when I come. We know, and all of you are very, very new to the commissioner board. And I've been here my 10th year, and there has been years of zero. So we know the history that there hasn't been complete support based on the economic factors that you all face. I don't understand that. That's why you were elected. That's your realm. So we try to come in with that understanding to be conscious of where you sit. But I will forego that in the future. And I know you gave us what you could this year, and at 2.8, that's probably the best you could have done for us. I appreciate that. We have to fight the fight for state aid. I know Craig Hutchinson, Dr. Hutchinson from Kittatinny emailed the commissioner board. I was on that chain. He was very passionate in his email to you. He attached a resolution that Hunterdon County commissioners passed to go to Trenton to say, we need to all advocate for a change to the state funding formula. And that's the momentum I would also ask you to do, not only for Sussex Tech, but for the whole county of Sussex. We've had challenges with our budget, there's no doubt. And we have survived by doing different things to make it work for our students, to give them the best environment possible. Unfortunately, it has come to a head this year, and we have tried our best to forecast it. Some schools in the county did receive an increase in state aid. Vernon was down $10 million. They cut 46 teachers last year. This year, they did get a $1 million increase, which was good for Vernon, but they're still behind $9 million. We were still hoping that we would see an increase this year. We didn't have that information until March. So the more that we all could advocate, myself, through the council, through you as commissioners, and reaching out to our state legislators in the 24th office, that's what we need to do to help myself at Sussex Tech with my students and administrators and teachers, and hopefully our colleagues in the county.
I think we're going to start to wrap this up. Anyone else on the board? No? Okay, I want to
Okay.
thank you so much for coming.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Hopefully, we were able to give some of the parents some answers, and if you guys wanted to stick around, and parents are probably going to address us, but they won't be able to address you.
Okay.
So if you just want to, if you want to sit and listen, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
But thank you.
Understand the question.
Excuse me?
You'll understand the question.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've been copying on many of the correspondence.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Director, I just want to clarify, Deputy Director Carney had indicated a motion
Okay.
that he wanted to put forth
Okay.
regarding no confidence.
Did you want to do that now, or do you want to do that in new business?
We can do it right now.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, go ahead, the floor is yours.
What do you want to explain? Okay.
But counsel for the education of the public advised what a no confidence vote would entail.
Yes, so before this board is a motion for a vote of no confidence. That's an expression that this board will no longer support a leader or a board, in this case, VOTAC.
So, is this for the board, or who is this no confidence vote for?
We could break it up to the board, or we could break it up to the superintendent. We could put it together. We could
Do two separate
do two
motions?
separates.
Yep.
I mean, does everybody feel comfortable, have enough information?
Motion's on the floor. If we have a second, we can have a discussion.
Okay, so you're making a motion.
I'm moving it.
I'll second it.
So are we doing this as two separate motions?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's what?
Do it as one?
Do it as one, yeah.
All right, so this is a motion for vote of no confidence for the administration of the Sussex County Technical School and the Sussex County Technical School Board of Education.
Okay, I have a motion from Director Carney and a second from Commissioner Hayden. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner DeGroot,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Schick,
Yes.
Director Space.
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay. Number 7, public hearing. A, vacation of bridges X52 and C06. At our regular meeting held on March 27th, 2024, we introduced for the first reading the following resolution, which was advertised in the New Jersey Herald issues of March 29th, 2024, April 5th, 2024, April 12th, 2024, and April 19th, 2024, together with the notice of public hearing stating it would be held at this meeting at 6 p.m. Implementing the procedure to effect the vacation of Bridge X52 located on Black Dirt Road in Wantage Township and Bridge C06 located on a private common driveway at the end of Netcong Avenue in Byram Township. Said vacation procedure to be implemented after notice and hearing in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 27:16-28B. Motion that the public hearing be open. Is anyone present to be heard regarding this resolution?
We just have to motion it first.
Okay.
So-
Can I get a motion to open it?
Still moved.
Okay. Deputy Director Carney, and a second with Commissioner Hayden. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Is anyone present to be heard regarding this resolution?
I am.
Okay,
Sorry
yes.
about that.
Okay. Just state your name and municipality, please.
Barbie Rosef,
Okay.
Byram Township. The bridge in Byram, I just wanted to remind everyone up there, that bridge is brand new. Brand spanking new. I don't think it's more than 8 years old, 10 years old. It's on a private driveway, and now you're abandoning it. So the county built a brand new bridge on a private driveway, and today you're vacating it. I just want to put it in perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Okay. Deputy Director Carney, and a second. Commissioner DeGroot. Okay. Motion that this resolution be finally
all in
adopted.
favor?
Oh, all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
My script is missing a few things. Okay. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Okay. Motion that this resolution be finally adopted. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney, and a second? I'll second. Any discussion?
Yeah, real quick. So, please tell me what he said. Did we get any compensation for vacating this bridge at all?
We would have to ask Bill Copenhagen. I don't think so, right?
No, and I'm not
But we
sure
don't.
he's correct on that either. I'll look into that, though.
Okay.
I mean, the resolution has nothing to do with compensation now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like we're giving a piece of property. That's all I'm saying, Chris.
Understood, but we don't own that property, so anything on that property is technically theirs. So we could ask them all we want. I mean, what would you say if it was your bridge? I'm not sure, Mr. Rose, if it's your
If we
bridge.
replace the bridge, why did we do it? There had to be a reason.
Well, I understand that. I don't have that answer for you. Could look into it. Again, I wasn't under the impression that this bridge was fixed by the county. And if it was, then, that was before our time.
Okay.
I'll get you the answers. I'll ask.
No, I'm sure, I'm just, maybe we not vote on it tonight.
Okay, so you want to,
Yeah, could we? I think we table would be the best thing and find
That's
out
fine.
if we did
okay,
this.
I'll table that.
Are we on a was there
We're
a
on a
motion?
motion.
Yeah.
Right now,
We
we're on
have
a
a
motion to finally adopt.
And we have a second.
And
We have a second, so there needs to be a
your
vote.
vote.
Okay, so
Yep.
there needs to be a vote.
So then
Okay.
we'll do a no vote and then move it to another date, right?
Well, no, right now there is a motion on the table that was seconded, so there needs to be a vote on that motion.
Okay.
If that motion fails, you can move to table it or move it to another meeting if we're in the timeframes necessary.
I'd have to double check on that. This was the public hearing for this ordinance, or for this matter.
So may I recommend you take a vote on the motion on the table first?
Okay.
We'll do this as a roll call vote.
Okay, that's good.
Could
let me
Can
read-
you clarify can you clarify the motion, please?
The motion is the resolution be finally adopted and authorize the clerk to advertise this resolution as finally adopted and also post same on the bulletin board in the lobby of the County Administrative Center.
And Deputy Director Carney made the motion, I seconded it. So roll call, please.
Commissioner DeGroot,
No.
Commissioner Hayden,
No.
Commissioner Schick,
No?
Director Space,
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney.
No.
Okay, number 8.
May I recommend
So it didn't
make
pass.
a
Motion to table?
motion to table and placed on a future agenda for a date certain.
Okay.
So future advertisement is not necessary. May I recommend the next meeting of May 8th?
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay. Deputy Director, Commissioner Hayden, Deputy Director Carney, and a roll call, or I guess all in
Just a
favor?
vote, voice vote.
I think all in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
As
No, motion
liaison
carries.
to engineering and planning, I will get those answers tomorrow. I was not under the impression that that was a new bridge whatsoever, so
Right.
if we have any doubt, let's
Yeah.
make sure we're correct before we,
Okay,
Next.
number 8, public session from the floor. Why
This
does
was
that say
going
this
to
will
be the
virtually
agenda
in the
item,
meeting?
so this we combined. That's the one we combined.
Okay, so we are going to the public we're going to combine, so
Combine
we're
it with the
skipping
second
8.
one.
Okay, so Commissioner, number 9 is Commissioner comments, and I'm going to start with Commissioner Hayden.
So last week, Commissioner Space and I attended election meeting. I encourage everybody to attend the election coming up. We want to make sure the integrity is maintained. It was good to go to that. I also have a little blurb from the library. Sussex County Library System has decided to announce that the community members now can access award-winning ABC Mouse curriculum both within the library building or wherever they are. Library card holders can create a free ABC Mouse account using a number from the back of their library card where community members can continue to access the ABC Mouse at any Sussex County Library branch without creating an account utilizing the library card or Wi-Fi. The ABC Mouse Early Learning Academy offers more than 10,000 learning activities in reading and language arts, math, science, social studies, art, music for children ages 2 to 8. These 10,000 plus fun-filled learning activities, including more than 2,000 STEM and over 1,200 Spanish language learning activities, consist of educational games, puzzles, art, activities, poems, songs, music videos, science videos, and more. 2,000 plus book titles can be accessed by age level, guided reading level, or Lexile level. We're delighted to offer enhanced access to ABC Mouse. Assistant Director Ellen Callahan remarked, this resource expands our dedication to lifelong learning and enriching the educational journey of learners of all ages within our community. Sussex County Library System is committed to fostering learning opportunities for all patrons of all ages within its walls and in the community. The library's wealth of online resources include school research resources, pieces of test career prep, teacher reference centers, as well as language learning genealogy. That's all I have.
Commissioner DeGroot.
All right, yeah. The Farmland Preservation Revitalization Tour had to stop this past 2 weeks with Frieden's mayor. This past week, it was a pleasure to update him on the revision of the appraisal formula for the farms entering Farmland Preservation Program. Frieden's mayor was very excited about the developments of the program and wants to assist in the outreach. Speaking of farmland preservation, I also want to mention that our very own Agricultural Development Board had a meeting last Monday. I was in attendance and was very happy to hear and announce to all you that we received our second application of the year for a farm interested in being preserved. The applicant's farm looks very promising and the committee plans to have a site visit in the near future. As stated at our January 1st reorganization meeting, I had a goal of doubling our numbers of applications for the year from 2 applications to 4. I'm happy that within 3 3/4 months, we're already at 2, so halfway to the goal. Between the Farmland Preservation Revitalization Tour, support from the agricultural community, and great developments from legislator, I'm happy to see everything come together to get to the point that we're at now with 2 applications. Nonetheless, the goal is for applications by year end, and I will continue to work hard to perform outreach to let farmers know the great opportunity on hand. With that being said, sticking with agriculture, New Jersey's very own Secretary of Agriculture, Ed Wingren, made a trip up north to the Sussex County Board of Agriculture meeting. He was very happy to hear the progress I made with farmland preservation and was delightful to discuss agricultural progress for programs at SCCC. Looking forward to continuing, we're helping him and him helping us with keeping, not only New Jersey, the Garden State, but Sussex County agriculturally rural. Revisiting my other goal I spoke of on January 4th with seeking opportunities of supporting agricultural programs at the community college. I had a meeting this past Monday with the ag director and the dean where we created the curriculum and requirements that we are envisioning for the internship program at Hudson Farms. This afternoon I actually sent those details over to them and now I'll see how they respond. I plan to schedule a collaborative meeting with SCC and Hudson Farms to progress it even more. Just want to make you all aware of the progress and the next step forward because, as you know, with commissioners and all of us, we want to make sure the ball is always moving forward. And with SCC and this farmland preservation, I'm always going to keep going and never standing still. Additionally, I want to say congratulations to Melissa Rockwell, Mary Lou, an amazing county tax board. They organized a breakfast 2 Fridays ago with municipal councils, mayors, committees, CFOs. Really to educate them and answer questions on municipal assessments. It was very well organized and the presentations were very informative. I was in attendance and learned a lot myself on the municipal level. Just really want to thank them again for putting that together, and they're planning on doing some more. And of course, all you commissioners are more than welcome to attend. I also attended the Sussex County's Medical Reserves Corps Appreciation Luncheon last week. It was an honor to attend, recognize, and thank the dedicated individuals a part of Sussex County's Medical Reserve Corps. For those that do not know, the Medical Reserves Corps coordinate, volunteer, health professionals, and citizens with an interest in health issues to provide ongoing support for the community public health needs and resources during large-scale emergencies. They were a vital part in the pandemic we had back in 2020. A big thank you to Juliet and Christine from the Division of Health for organizing really such a great event. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Schick.
Gosh, I don't know how I could follow that up. Jack, do you ever sleep?
No, it's getting less and less.
So, thank you, Director. So I had the distinct honor of reading proclamations to Daisy and to Jenny's house on a monumental day of awareness here on the Green, and then subsequently being appointed to Ginny's House Board of Directors. That was an amazing, just an amazing event and an amazing opportunity for me to learn more about what they actually do. I met with the prosecutor, and I've met with a number of people on that board, former freeholder and mayor of Vernon. Howard Burrell is also on that board, and many people with long-standing roots that are involved in caring for the victims and the victims of this county. It was heart-wrenching to hear some of the things because I've never been in that type of an environment and to believe that kind of stuff is out there. And I wanted to let everybody know that they are an excellent institution and do great work. And I would just, my hat's off to those people there. So enough of that. I just, without becoming too overwhelming with that, I attended the LD24 event in Branchville where the mayors and council people of the county showed to hear what Senator Space, Assemblywoman Fantasia, and Assemblyman Iganamort, what they're doing in Trenton and what it does for us here in the county. That was an exceptional meeting, very, very well attended. I don't think there was a municipality that wasn't there. So, that was great. Today, I attended a veterans luncheon in giving thanks to the veterans of our Sussex County. Many of them are Vietnam veterans, but I did recognize a few that were from World War II. Very, very, very elderly for that number. And I had the distinct honor of thanking them.
And some from the Korean War, too.
Yes. And being a veteran myself, when I see a serviceman or woman of that age and what they went through and what they've done for our country to protect the very rights that we have to vote, to live in America, in the greatest country in the world, and to see those people who came back from the beaches of Normandy and different areas and speak with them and sit with them for a few minutes was absolutely amazing. So due to my shortened schedule because of things at home, that's all I have to report for now.
Thank you. Deputy Director Carney.
Thank you. This first one's for Jack. This is Farmland Preservation Annual Monitoring. Once a farm is preserved, the deed of easement requires division staff to monitor farms on an annual basis. As of 2024, staff are responsible for monitoring approximately 186 preserved farms. Of the 186 farms required to monitor, 45% have been monitored for the fiscal year 2024. I'll give you this, Jack. I know you're chomping at the bit. I'll give you the information. The most recent farm inspections are located at the Kittatinny Valley East Project area. Scheduled annual monitoring for 7 farms in the Kittatinny Valley East Project. This is the mile status, I'm sorry. Conducted site inspections and annual meetings with each farm owner. Identify any concerns, violations of deed or easement, new construction or new agriculture operation, and prepared and submitted monitoring report to SADC. Put that right there for you. DPW purchased under ARPA projects. The 2024 Elgin Boom Bear Sweeper was delivered last week through Timbermin equipment for purchase of $349,116. Not a cheap machine. Representatives from Timbermin were on site to provide initial training and service procedures to county staff, equipment operators, and fleet mechanics. DPW expects the sweeper to be in service May 1st of this year. I see Mayor Chamings in the back. Mayor Chamings. This is about County Route 521. I wanted to point this out because it has something to do with Stillwater. It's our single lane closure. This is something you can take with you if you'd like. This is the status update. I know we had a couple constituents coming here and concerned about the light and how they're stopping in front of his house, and we understand. So our engineer department is working hard, but this is a status update for you who come to our meetings and hear this. So in the interest of the public safety, a temporary traffic signal was installed along the segment route of County Route 521 in Stillwater. The specific concern relates to deteriorating roadside retaining, but encompassing 2 integral culverts and a dam spillway. During today's meeting, the Commissioner Board included an award of professional engineer design in the service contract. That's what we agreed on today. The engineering firm is being hired to perform an engineering evaluation of the temporary traffic control measures currently deployed at the location. So basically, they're going to see where the light is right now, if it's in the right spot, if we can move it, or so on and so forth. If they concur with our engineers, most likely, from my understanding, is it will stay there. Hopefully, that won't be the issue and we can move it. Following the evaluation, the firm will transition to the scoping portion of the project. Project scoping will include identification of existing conditions, hydraulic and hydrologic studies, determination of the county route right-of-way, identification of environmental sensitive resources which may impact future project, identification of archaeological, historical, and cultural resources in the project area, evaluation for threatened and endangered species, traffic studies, public outreach, and identification of utility impacts. You get the gist. This is a report from the mouth of our county clerk, Jeff Parrott. I am pleased to report revenue is up for the month of March 2024 by $16,594.80 compared to the 2023 data. The year-to-date revenue is up $148,946.92 from March of 23. The economy remains sound at the time. As of last month, the Federal Reserve is considering lowering interest rates in June. However, the economy remains stronger than anticipated. The Federal Reserve is now indicating a rate reduction which will not take place in June as previously stated. Property alert systems have gone up. In March, we had 93. To date, 825. So it continues to go up. And same thing with Daniel's Law. We had 6 in March, and to date, 562. This past week, I was around the county. There's a couple new businesses that were open that I was able to go to. One was in Sandiston, the Layton Cattle Company. Basically, what that is farm to butcher shop, which was pretty neat. And then I actually went to Burger and Butcher, which was our former freeholder, Josh Hertzberg, which opened up in Sparta. As you head into town there, probably. I'm a little biased because Josh is a friend, but probably the best burger I ever had. A really, really good burger. Again, as Commissioner Schick said, we were able to attend the veteran luncheon, which means a lot to me. I'm a son of a 2-time war vet, so that was nice. And thank you to Senior Services and everybody who helped out. Your whole crew, they do a great job year after year. So that was nice. We did have some, as you heard in our reading, we have a couple spots open. One with the planning board and one with the ag board. I have a couple other people that I hope you guys will consider for the ag board, possibly the open space and or the water quality. I'm looking at that now. And Branchville was looking for some information with the forest main that we're looking to do. So that information is here. I'm looking through that to get to them. We need to keep them up to date a little bit more. We kind of lacked on that a little bit, and I told the mayor that we will fix that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fix that. And then last but not least, I'll bring that up in new business. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Deputy Director Carney and I have a meeting on Monday with Warren County officials and Hunterdon on hoping to increase, hopefully, internet services here in the county. Deputy Director Carney has been working hard on that for the last few months at least, if not longer. I also heard from the county clerk today. They had an election in Byram, a school election, and he said that everything went smooth. So I want to congratulate the Board of Elections for a job well done. I also want to thank Senior Services and our Deputy Administrator, Lorraine Hentz, for the Veterans Luncheon that 4 of us commissioners attended today. It was a very well turnout at the farmstead. And I've been working with Deputy Administrator Lorraine Hentz on bringing a support group to our local veterans in need, and we're also working with Catholic Charities, and we think that we have it set where we will have 2 meetings a month, 2 separate types of meetings, and a Zoom option. So we're anxious to get that going. So we were really excited to talk about that today, and I think Lorraine's going to talk about that in a minute. And then I apologize for missing the school board meeting last week, but I was out of town getting my 2 new sloths. And Commissioner DeGroot and I also attended a meeting with some people from the college, because I am going to be over-informed when we have the College Board of School Estimate meeting, which we don't have a date set, but I can guarantee you that I will have all the information that I need. And to keep things short, I am going to tell you that if you want to hear my Health and Human Services report, you can get it online tomorrow.
No, that would be our
by the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can certainly post it on the Facebook
Okay,
website.
that would be good.
Yeah,
Thank
front
you.
page of the website.
So I'll also post it on my my commissioner Facebook page. And I want to thank all the parents here that have reached out. And I have read every email that you sent. And tomorrow I will respond personally to all of you. Facebook messages, Facebook posts I can't because I won't see them all. But I do appreciate all that you've done for your kids, and keep up the good work. That's it. You're good role models to your children, to fight for your education. I'm sure they have been getting a good education at Sussex Tech. That's not in question. We all know that's a good place, and that's where you want to keep your kids. So we'll hope there's a resolution on that. Okay, and that's all I have today. So, number 10, approval of consent agenda, and there is no consent agenda tonight. Number 11, approval of minutes, approval of the regular meeting on April 10th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting?
So moved.
Okay. Commissioner Hayden and Commissioner DeGroot. This we're just going to do all in favor? Yeah. All in
No,
favor?
I have to abstain.
Yes.
Yep. Opposed? Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Number 12, there's no ordinances. Number 17, personnel, we have none. Number 18, administrative report.
That's me. Hi, I'm Lorraine Hens. I'm standing in for Ron Tappan today. One thing I do want to say is today is Administrative Assistance Day, and I just want to commend all of the assistants we have in the county. I've been at the county for 28 years, and I've never seen such groups of people work so hard, be so dedicated, and give so much. So I just want to give a shout out to all of them for all of their hard work and dedication to the community that they serve, and recognize all of their efforts. I do want to thank all of our commissioners for attending our Veterans Appreciation Luncheon. This was the 3rd one we've had this year, and we went from having a capacity of 100 to having to expand that capacity up to 150 this year, so it keeps growing and growing. And having our ability to recognize everything our veterans do for our community and all of the services that they have given, I can't say thank you enough. And I'm just going to piggyback on what Jill said. Not 3 weeks ago, Jill and Parker had reached out to me because they had people calling them and saying, we're looking for a support group. We're being referred to mental health professionals. They're really not meeting our needs. We're looking for somebody that's a peer to talk to. They called me on my way to work at 7:50 in the morning. I reached out to Catholic Families, David Pearson, who does their VSO services there, and talked about, well, how can we meet this? And did a Zoom call with Jill, kind of going over what are they looking for, what are those needs, and in less than 3 weeks, we're able to really pull together, working with the Mental Health Association to bring a clinically focused group, and then staff in my area, social workers that are, one is a veteran, saying, yes, I'll gladly lead a peer support group, and reaching out to people that she knows to get certified to be able to do these things. So we came up with this option of one that's clinically based through Newton Mental Health Associates, peer-based through the Division of Senior Services, as well as then offering Zoom for those that can't make it to the building, are not ready to do a face-to-face, really meeting all of those aspects and those connections for where a veteran is. And, that concept of collaboration and communication and working together, how quickly something happens. So I do want to say thank you to Parker and thank you to Jill. Thank you to Catholic families. And working together, we make it happen. So that's a really important thing and something I like to see and share. The other two things I want to bring up is that Department of Engineering and Planning are putting forth a grant that is due April 30th to the New Jersey Division of Highway and Traffic Safety. We'll be doing a resolution at the May 8th meeting, but I just need your okay to apply for it. It is the State and Community Highway Safety Grant. It's for $17,165.65 to replace a radar trailer that's out of commission, so it does save our tax dollars, and there is no cost share or match, so I just need a kind of like a verbal okay to hit the button. We'll have the formal resolution on the May 8th meeting.
Sounds good to me.
Is that okay? Can you just do a motion?
To let them apply?
Yes.
Still moved.
Okay, a roll call vote? Or any discussion? Any discussion? No? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to
Thank
having
you.
that on the agenda.
And then I might as well bring up the one I want to do for Newton. So I've been working with Commissioner Carney for the past year, really talking about the wellness of our staff and employees and how to engage them and improve morale and services we could do. And one of the things we were talking about is physical fitness and access to nutritionists. So I made a commitment to him that I will work on this. And Newton Medical Center Atlantic Health does have a 2-year grant out there that focuses on community health. I would like a motion to support us applying for $60,000 for a 2-year grant to do use consultants that are physical trainers that are certified, as well as using a nutritionist, dietitian to do education on healthy eating, assisting in meal planning, and working with them, as well as bringing that physical exercise to employees here in the building, that we would do it after work in this location, getting them connected, then into our community and community gyms. So if I can get...
Well, that director space would have to...
Yes, can I get a motion? And
Yes.
you want to make the motion?
I will move that. I just had something to add, but we can do that discussion.
We can do it in discussion.
Yep.
And I'll second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so with that, I appreciate what you did, because it's been a long time coming, you know how I am. If I'm correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, they also are employees. If they go to this and they could create as many steps as possible and they can prove that they're exercising, they get $20 a month back from our insurance?
Yes.
Is that correct?
They're 25, I believe. It's
So-
$25 credit, and that's
Actually-
one of the things that we would be then like encouraging them to do as part of the outcomes for the
Right, so
grant.
essentially they can make a little money on this?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make
so
sure.
Deputy Director Carney made the motion, and I seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? You good?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Number 19, County Council report.
I have nothing to report.
Nice. Okay, number 20, unfinished business. So I will ask you, has anyone in the county been contacted by the FBI or federal investigations on our food pantry? This comes up every meeting. Has anyone been contacted?
No.
So, thank you. How about from the AG's office on a no-show job?
No.
Okay, thank you. I should just elaborate that our food pantry does wonderful things. We have wonderful donors, and I'm not going to get into it with Mr. Commissioner Hayden tonight, but we go through this every meeting, and I did get a reminder email in my commissioner email from a friend of Mr. Hayden's, saying, you know who emailed me to put a spark in my mind about the food pantry right before the meeting. So, and I will do whatever I can to make sure that the people in Sussex County that need the food pantry continue to get fed. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else with unfinished business? Okay. Number 21, New business. Any new business?
I do have just something real quick. This goes back to the development of the Sussex County Local Road Safety Action Plan that Bill Copenhagen was talking about. This is the board that the potential participants he's looking for, the initial Sussex County Local Safety and Action Plan, the implementation of a committee. What he was asking for, some commissioners, and the county engineer, different townships that he's looking for. So basically, they're looking for 15 to 20 people to get on this committee. I mean, it's going to be a tough one, but I don't know if you guys want to look at this all, or you guys want to give me carte blanche on picking people. Obviously, we can only do 2 commissioners. He recommends Commissioner Director, the liaison to the Department of Engineering and Planning. That's me. But if you guys want to take it, I'm okay with that too. It just kind of goes hand in hand with what I do with the county, and so on and so forth. But we need to do this no matter what. I don't know if you guys, we could copy this, give it to you, but he's got the towns that they're looking to do. Vernon, Hardiston, Montague, Sparta, Sussex Borough, Paccon, Stanhope. He's got people from the Chamber of Commerce. If there's anybody that you guys know that you think would be good for this committee, then let me know too, and we can pick them.
Print it out or have Christina email all of us?
Yeah, so I'm going to send it to you. If you guys could get back to me by the end of the week. If you don't care, I'll just, I'll work on this with Director and Bill Copenhagen and try to fill this committee. All right, so this is for the Safety Action Plan.
Sounds good. Any other new business? Okay. Number 22. The public session from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make general comments of 3 minutes or less on non-agenda topics. Please line up at the microphone and state your name and municipality for the record. Can I get a motion to open the floor for public comment?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner DeGroot, and a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, Commissioner Schick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Okay, the floor is open. Just state your name and municipality, too.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Buckaloo. I live in Byram. I just had a few points to make. Of course, my daughter goes to tech. Just a few points, and I know I'm speaking to you guys. The parents still haven't had any real communication. We just got a generic email that the shops were closing. We did find out that I think some of us found out that the seniors, incoming seniors, would be able to stay, and that the drama club would stay for 1 more year. My point to that is that there are 60 kids in the drama club. If they're only going to do it for 1 more year, those 60 kids could leave the school just as well as any athletes could leave the school if they're not there. So I just want to make sure. I know when I was in school, it was football and cheerleading. All the money went there. It's where all the concern was. But 60 kids in a drama club is a lot, and it's a safe place for a lot of the kids. So it should just be something considered. And then the other thing, if I've run programs, I was a total jock as a kid, I cheered, I softball. I don't ever want to see sports gone. But if it comes down to saving sports or saving education, I don't know how there's a question. And I know there's a lot of money put out for sports, and that's great if you can afford it. So just another thought. I know at football games and whatnot, there is no admissions to get in. You can get in for free. I've never gotten in anywhere else for free for a football game. So again, parents are more than willing, at least now, maybe not always, to try to raise money. Maybe we can have booster clubs for these after-school programs to help raise money for those, to save money for the school. Just food for thought for when you guys do attend the meeting, which I'm hoping the Board of Education, the special meeting, which we just found out today about, will be open to the public as well, just so we know what's going on, or whys, or anything. So, thank you.
Sounds good, thank you.
I'm sorry, ma'am, can you just spell your last name for me, please?
It's Buckaloo, B-U-C-K-A-L-E-W.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm James Gaddy, Sparta Township. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Sussex County Community College. Hello again. I'm here today because I've been suspended from the college for 2 months, and I'm here because I was suspended for bringing up 2 different issues with President John Connolly. One is that he had a gun in his office, and when I reported that, he then turned around and told everybody that I made up the story when I have him on recording saying he did have a gun in his office. The second thing is interestingly, Mr. Carney, very similar to what you just experienced with Gus. You asked about financial issues, you asked about the budget. Gus got sort of the riot act because he doesn't have enough money, but yet John Connolly is sitting on over $25 million over there when I know for a fact that he asked for an increase in the amount of funds that the county supported the college with this year. So financial impropriety, misreporting of financial information over there is very different. I wish we could just take the money from the college and support these wonderful students over at Tech. But alas, John Connolly has that $25 million sitting in an account for his leisurely spending. The final thing that I'll just bring up is it strikes me as interesting when you asked about shared services. As the chief operating officer at the college, I will tell you that John Connolly does not like Gus, and therefore does not want us to do any shared service. As the chief operating officer, I see wonderful opportunity to figure out how to do synergies on the non-academic front, which is where you really save the most money in your budget. So that's truly interesting. And then finally, it just strikes me as interesting. A man has a gun in his office. He's accused of, sexually harassing people. He's accused of tapping people's phones and those sorts of things. And really, we have a person with a mental breakdown. And unfortunately, I think what we have, I don't know, we have board members here tonight, I think we have a man who is not only manipulating the staff and students at the college, but also manipulating the board. Because after the first of at least 6 letters that I know of has been received, the board still has not had anyone contact any of us to understand anything else about the problems that we brought up. We're talking about violating laws. So it's interesting that you do a vote of no confidence on the gentleman who's trying to solve a problem over at Tech. Where's the vote of no confidence for John Connolly?
We
That's what I
haven't
would
even
ask.
had our Board of School Estimate meeting for the college yet.
Oh, did you have it with Gus?
We did. We did
okay.
with Sussex Tech. We haven't had it with the college yet.
Okay, so the other allegations and a board who is failing to act on those allegations.
When you say board, I'm just going to go on
The
for
board of the
1
college, I'm
minute.
sorry.
You mean the board of the college?
Yes,
Okay.
to be clear.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So
I
we
think-
have been meeting with different board members. So we are still, I know that the College Board of Trustees have an inquiry going on, and, we are a very due diligent board.
Great.
And
I'm sorry for taking up time
that's
for
that's
these
okay.
wonderful tech parents.
Thank you.
but
We
I'll see you next time.
appreciate everyone that comes. Hello.
Hi, it's Lisa Chamney, Stillwater Township. I will grab that, Mr. Carney, in a second.
Dimitri's here, actually, so if I was going to, I can get you a copy. I can email it to you. I'll hand that to Dimitri. Sorry to cut you off.
That's fine. Just 3 quick things. Thank you for the LEAP grant information to Stillwater Township.
my
Thank you
pleasure.
for sending Mrs. King there on her birthday to talk to us. We tried to get her out quickly so she could go enjoy her birthday dinner. So thank you for that. Stillwater's appreciative.
Lafayette had me, so yeah.
So also, as a 38-year now retired teacher for a few months, budget cuts are never fun. I wish you all the best as you try and figure all of this out. It is not an easy task. I can attest to that. And I retired to make sure that a couple of our younger teachers could still have jobs. So after 38 years, it was enough. Finally, as to Stillwater, I wasn't quite sure what was happening with the agenda because I was out there. I am in support of Resolution K, which is awarding engineering services for County Road to Van Cleef Engineering for the preliminary design for County Route 521 at mile marker 1160. Van Cleef is an excellent firm, very familiar with Stillwater, so I'm looking forward to progress in that area. I know it's a long process. It is one of the most historic, I can't even call it a bridge, spillway, dams, waters. It's not an easy fix, so thank you for all the work, and that was really all I wanted to say was about Resolution K, but I got lost in the crowd. So you can give that to Dimitri.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ken Collins, Andover Township. I've been coming here since Commissioner DeGroot was born to speak truth to power. And I'm here tonight to speak to you about honor, dignity, and respect. At the previous commissioners' meeting, Commissioner Hayden made claims that some documents purported to indicate that he is a veteran are fraudulent. Unfortunately for him, it is irrelevant. What about his misrepresentations made to his own family members? What about the misrepresentations he made to his political supporters who have so bravely come forward? What about the way he hoodwinked his colleagues right here on this very board into thinking he served our nation as a soldier, a Navy SEAL for God's sake? I've got to hand it to the Sussex County Republican Committee. As if sticking it to the community with Parker Space's $30 million solar scandal wasn't enough damage, they continue to anoint the inept to run Sussex County's government. Parker Space and his anointed, inept cronies on the county commission were asleep at the wheel, and I came here and questioned their judgment. Me and Harvey Rosef. We were the only two people in this whole community who questioned their judgment, and we were right, and they didn't listen to us. I'm here questioning your judgment. Bill Hayden's political implosion was predictable. Yet once again, the inept was anointed by the Sussex County Republican Committee anyway. One only needs to watch the video of the infamous Oroho-Hayden debate, which can be found on my YouTube channel, to understand how thoroughly unqualified and unfit for public office Bill Hayden is. And that was before allegations of stolen valor came to light. So what should Bill Hayden do? Resign.
1 minute.
Be a man of honor. Do what a man of honor does. Confess to the validity of your indiscretions. Admit that you pose as a military veteran to your friends, family, and colleagues. Apologize to everyone for these indiscretions, especially to actual military veterans like me, repeatedly, profusely, solemnly, and with remorse. The SCRC owes it to our community to right its own ship and recall Bill Hayden. Chairman Joe LaBarbera said he would. We're still waiting to sign Mr. LaBarbera's petition. We can only hope that Joseph LaBarbera is a man of honor who keeps his promises. I have my doubts, as I believe he is as inept as Mr. Hayden. For our community, it is deeply unsettling that we must rely on the SCRC, which has done so much harm to us by anointing the inept, to do the right thing and recall Bill Hayden. The SCRC is a clown circus, and I expect they will fail to act.
Good evening. Hello. I apologize, I did not intend to speak. My name is Erin Chowiak. I'm a teacher at Sussex County Technical School. I am a teacher of 16 years. In fact, I had two of the...
Did you? Two of mine?
Your two oldest. I'm the NHS NTHS advisor, the yearbook advisor, a teacher mentor. I'm also the co-union VP. In fact, it was 2 years ago we sat in this room with several of my other teachers speaking with Mr. Fasano about many of the same questions that you all just asked. While the presentation just given tries to place blame on the lack of funding either from the state or the commissioners, the fact of the matter is that we have an inefficient and apathetic board and administration, with the possible exclusion of our newest member, Mr. Hayden. We have a director of guidance and child study team who is not certified for those roles, but instead works under Mr. Modlo's certifications. We also added an administrator in February of 2022 who replaced an administrator who previously handled curriculum as well as discipline. They now only currently handle curriculum as well as state testing. We currently have one administrator for every 90 students, while the state average is 140. This is the first I'm hearing about a per diem grant writer. We as a union approached several years ago, and we were able to secure a part-time grant writer. When that individual left, he was not replaced. Our board agendas are almost always blank in the grant section. The other thing that needs to be clarified is that the students in the shops that are possibly being closed do not have similar shop programs to go into. Graphics, for example. Commercial arts is the alternative, which is almost full. Will give them, yes, a similar certification in Adobe. However, commercial arts revolves around drawing. Many of the students in graphic designs do not draw, nor do they want to draw. So it is not a viable option for them. Despite what was just said, after seeing 8 shops disappear in the past 10 years, I fear for the future of our school.
1 minute.
Many of those programs, yes, were closed due to sunsetting SIP codes, but they could have easily had adapted curriculums to allow those programs to change and roll into new programs. So I just wanted to clarify some of the statements.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Dimitri Gatanis, beautiful and historic Stillwater Township. I'm here I want to thank Commissioner Carney for the update. I really appreciate that.
And you can take this too when you're done.
Okay, thank you. It's a relief to know that there's some progress, and we do appreciate that. But I just wanted to inform the commissioners that, this is really racking up some dollars being spent. I mean, Stillwater just increased their policing with the county sheriff's department by 37.5% because of these lights. I believe it's because of the lights, because it's kind of odd that we added that much of a budget to police the community. That's been policed by the state police for many years. Now we have a $267,000 paycheck to Van Cleef, which I hope is well spent. The mayor, Chamings, feels that they're a good outfit and they'll do the right thing. But I really am concerned that there's not going to be like a rubber stamp situation where there's actually going to be real debate and discussion over this pretty significant problem that we have in town, which is basically 2 traffic lights literally going from one of my driveways to the other driveway in front of my house. And I can just tell you that it's political season coming up. We're going to have signs. We already have signs for people to cut grass and cut trees and all kinds of services right in front of my house now. And soon I'll have probably a lot of political signs. I hope you don't...
I won't put a sign on your lawn.
But I also want to just say, we have to look at, a lot of people here are right of center, many of which are affiliated with a particular party, and that stands for small government, it stands for, fiscal responsibility. And I think that, time could increase that cost. If we can just get to the point and get this thing moving along, I think that the county and the people of the county can save some money. Yes. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then lastly, I've been stonewalled, I hate to use the pun, but by the custodian of records, I'm asking for information regarding where the county engineer, where he received his facts about his executive summary, which is basically one sentence. The department was advised by Stillwater Township of multiple accidents that have occurred along CR 521 near 916 Maple Avenue. And this was on November 6th, 2023. I mean, the issue is there were 15 accidents from 2006 to 2015, 12 of which happened by deer, or caused by deer. 3 accidents happened near this area, we don't even know where. 2 of them were during a snowy condition, apparently, according to this report, and 1 was during a rainy condition. I just think that we have to sort of take the bubble wrap off and start looking at how seriously ridiculous it is to have the 2 lights there.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I approach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You could always email with your questions.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Kathy Brennan, Hampton Township. I'm here again about the same issue. I feel like it's been the elephant in the room, and coming back to meetings and pretending things are back to usual, whatever, to me is just like throwing it under the rug and forgetting about it. These are accusations that should not be forgotten. There are accusations put out there by this person, and there are accusations about the person. So far, there have been no resolutions to any of these matters, and I think there needs to be some sort of resolution. I think someone needs to say what exactly is going on. And also, this is a person who ran a campaign of supposedly saving the county money and, working on a good budget and whatever. And this person has cost us more in time, money, and reputation, between threatening lawsuits, illnesses and not being able to come, not taking initiative to do their job and attend county functions and make their reports like all of you do. I mean, we pay you commissioners and you're expected to do a job. And also the accusations, which I've said before, about the food bank. I feel like it's one of those things. If you say it enough, maybe people will think it's true, or you want people to think it's true. At every meeting, you ask, is there anything legal going on? Every meeting, no. No one has been contacted about any case. So why are we ruining the reputation again of the food bank? I think this needs to stop. I think there needs to be apologies. I would suggest a resignation, but honestly, you're shameless and you would not resign.
1 minute.
And, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. My name's Lisa DeMarco. I'm from Hardiston Township. I would like to start off by saying that Sussex Tech saved my son. I don't know where he would be without Sussex Tech. He is a sophomore in engineering and he's thriving. I have said these words to the board and to Mr. Modla. He is a varsity letterman in cross country, and cross country is the only sport at Tech who doesn't have an assistant coach. And in September of this past year, there was a serious medical emergency that required parent intervention, and there was only one coach, and that student that had the medical emergency's parents were not there. After it was over, I learned the rules about parents not being able to intervene or chaperone the kids back to the school, that it all relies on the coach. And there is only one coach, okay? It is the only sport with only one coach. So I attended the next board meeting at the convenient time of 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday to advise the board that these kids, they deserve better and that they feel unsupported by their school administration because their team is treated like second-class citizens. In September, at that meeting, I also offered to volunteer to become an assistant cross-country coach. I attended multiple meetings and emailed every month reminding them that I was still offering my services. I just found out last week, nearly 7 months later, that I can volunteer if I obtain 7 certifications and am approved as a substitute teacher. Well, I am calling their bluff. I will do those things. It will cost me about $200, but I'm willing to do it because I believe in our students. They deserve the best we can give them. I had to work so hard and be a pest to volunteer. Teachers have volunteered to be assistant coaches or to do ski club, and they have been denied. Now my son tells me about ski club may be canceled. Well, if I need to volunteer for that too, I will. But I am only one person. There are parents and teachers willing to help. I just wanted to tell you that there are other things happening behind the scenes. Our frustrations as parents run deep, and it started well before the latest budget issues. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Linda Coombs. I am from Sparta, and I am a proud mom of a sophomore at Sussex Tech. I want to thank the Commissioners here tonight for really taking this budget issue seriously, for taking the time to hear the parents' concerns and the students' concerns, and for asking the hard questions this evening. It is really appreciated. I, for one, know that I am not a guru when it comes to budgets. Just ask my husband. I'm terrible at paying bills. So I get it. And much less, having the school budget concern and knowing the kids' lives are on the line. But I would love to understand the math, how closing these 3 shops will make us whole $850,000. And when do we expect to realize that? If by cleaning them for next year, we're magically make the budget whole? I cannot understand that. I'm also concerned about the student-teacher ratio for the kids being absorbed into other shops if they choose to go there. This evening was really the first information received by the superintendent about what the plan is. As parents, we had no plan as to what was going to happen to our kids. Last year, when my son was looking to transfer out of a shop, he was told commercial arts was full. If this year he's graphics communications, he's thriving and he loves it. If he's in commercial arts now, suddenly there's room for him and lots of other commercial arts students? I don't know. So I appreciate you also being willing to use your liaisons to help the board find solutions. I'm really, really hopeful that we can find solutions and help these kids stay in their seats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Nancy Absalon. I'm at Arlington, New Jersey. Proud mom of a sophomore who's shop is not being affected. It's not. I'm here to mention that only sports kids got a surprise little email, not the parents, just the children. Would you come here if there were no sports? Now, are they looking to cut sports? I don't know what's going to happen. I hope not, because my son is thriving. My son is dyslexic. He's high honor roll since he started in the school. The other thing they want to cut is like late busing. Why would you do that to these kids? And take it down to 2 days so that they can't hang out with their friends. They can't go to the student center, which they were also going to cut. Last year, there was some rumor going around that they were cutting the student center. I think they have to reevaluate their priorities. And I know I Oprah'd the breakage. I was denied the Oprah because maybe it's not worded correctly. So I will resend the Oprah on the breakage so that I see what's happening, because there's money somewhere. Everybody has money. Everybody knows a budget, right? They're not under budget, it's just here. And you have to find it to make it work. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'm Anaya Ali. I'm from Hardiston Township. COVID-19 took away my freshman year, and now the class of 2028 has their freshman year jeopardized by a seemingly self-inflicted wound. Transparency is a basic form of decency, and we all ask for that transparency. Massive changes to the school were on its way to being approved without any notice to the public, and the school continues on like nothing has changed. My younger sibling was scheduled for freshman year in architectural technology, and I was glad that my siblings' experience would be different from my own in freshman year. During my COVID freshman year, I didn't have any classmates, I didn't go to any clubs, and I didn't know anything about my shop. And the hope of having a better year up ahead kept me going. I didn't want to give up because I wanted to get to know my shop better, to understand that unfamiliar mechatronics. And mechatronics was so significant to me because it was my first conscious step towards a career that I would love and nurture. And I truly believe that each of you had an instinctive calling towards public policy, and the sacred nature of the content that comes with the job, that comes from a job you're passionate about, is being dishonored right now. The class of 2028 will be disbanded even before they could get to know architectural technology, graphic communications, and theater arts. You're only in high school once, and I'd never want anybody I know to be deprived of the resources I was back in 2020. And it disheartens me that these current freshmen might not, these upcoming freshmen might not have the same experience. Please save these shops for our future students and represent the students in this. Public policy really has a chance to make a momentous change at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss, I'm sorry, can I just get your spelling of your name? I'm sorry.
Anaya, I-N-A-A-Y-A.
And your last name?
Ali, A-L-I.
Thank you.
My heart's beating a mile a minute. So I'm here to advocate for
Can
the
you just
shops.
state your name and municipality?
Sure. My name is Dawn Rutkowski, and I live in Hampton Township. And I am here to advocate on the shops that are closing, the wonderful theater community that's behind me, but most importantly, my son. Speaking with the theater kids, with some kids from the other shops, and living with my son, the mental health impact that this has had hurts. It's refreshing to be here with this board here. I see the passion, I see the advocacy, and I see the emotion, and I wish we had some of that in last week's meeting. I know everybody's trying to do their best and trying to do their jobs, but some of the questions I have are, I know that we have liaisons for the schools, but is there any way we can have a group that's like a liaison for the parents? Finding this out by accident was the panic that set in, was just unnecessary. And the groups of parents that I have met over the last week or so, I'm just learning about a lot of the steps here. But we have some super sleuths on our side, and we have parents who are advocating for their children, and we're finding out information on our own that I really wish that we would have been presented by the school. Also interested in seeing if there are any ways that parents can get involved with funding with trying to help ways to replace some of that money. Some of the shops that we have can be profitable, working with the public. And I can't read the rest of my handwriting, so thank you.
That's really me. Thank you. I am, like I said before, I am hoping that they'll establish a Citizens Advisory Committee. I think that would be very good for the school.
It would be amazing because I just feel like, especially hearing that maybe we can increase enrollments. I mean, I know kids who are turned away or waitlisted, and it just breaks my heart. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Madison Allen. I'm currently a junior in the theater arts shop at Tech. I spoke at the board meeting last Thursday, and I didn't really prepare too much to say because I think I said everything I had to there, and most of that was directed to the Board of Education. I just hope you will help us save our shops because they are essential. We are a technical school, and I know this is by no means your fault, and I appreciate it so much that you are willing to do what you can to help. But like I said, we are a technical school, and us getting rid of our shops doesn't make us that. Our school has 6 administrators, and a lot of us don't even know them, and I'm sure if we don't know them, they don't know us. People want to know our school for the good, but right now the school doesn't have a very good reputation, and certainly will not if our shops are cut. I just want to emphasize how hard the kids work to get into and continue to stay in these shops. And for some like me, these shops are guiding them to where they need to be to have a future in that industry. We spend years building up our portfolios and preparing for college auditions and doing what we love. And not only did the school not really give us an indication that these cuts would be happening, they knew for a while beforehand. And I'm sure most people in this room can agree that this is very weird and kind of shady. And I didn't want to come in here and be super factual because I'm sure you've heard the facts. You don't need to hear them from me to know that this shouldn't be happening. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. These are our careers. They're not just normal high school classes that are being taken away. And I know we have intro classes at our school, but you can't graduate with those. You need at least 3 years of a shop to graduate. And if they are cut, a lot of kids will not have it. And I know, Ms. Space, I think you asked Mr. Modla what the school could do to avoid closing those shops, and I don't think you were provided an answer. So that makes me believe they didn't do anything. I don't really have anything more to say but to leave it there, and thank you for listening to what we have to say, and thank you for taking everything we say into consideration.
Thank you. And civic involvement is so important. On this note, I'm going to say we are going to take a 5-minute break so that we can, but we want everybody to stay because we really want to hear what everyone has to say. But we are just going to take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
You're the only one who knows what she's doing. I don't need to make a motion to reopen the floor, right? Since we just took it?
Yeah.
Okay. I should? Okay. That's right. Dress. Okay. Use my gavel. Okay, we're back in session. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emily Gojic, and I appreciate you listening to us all tonight. I also didn't have very much prepared because I spoke at the original board meeting, and I didn't want to be too repetitive for the people who have already heard me speak. But I believe that I should reiterate because I believe it'll help. I'm just here to talk about my experience and the impact that theater has had on me. I remember the moment when I decided I wasn't going to my sending district. I was sitting in my room after cheer practice in 2020 debating what to do, and I told myself that if the bullying got worse, I would go to Tech. It did. But the next choice was sweatshop. I was going back and forth between law and theater. I had people around me telling me to be realistic and choose a safe career, but ultimately I decided to follow my heart, and I could not be happier. In 8th grade, when the bullying was at its peak, I joined a show called Grease. That theater was the one place where I felt like I could be myself without being judged. I saw it as a second home. Those people had dug me out of a hole that kept getting deeper and deeper. When I went on stage for the first time, I knew that I made the correct decision. Now, as a junior in theater arts, my shop being cut will greatly affect my future and the futures of my peers. Casting directors will see where we all graduated from. They will also see that my peers just quit theater. This means that the resumes will just be tossed to the side, which will negatively impact their chances of booking a role. They will think we just quit, when in actuality it's being ripped away from us, even though it goes against the mission statement, which says the Sussex County Technical School, a school of choice in partnership with family, community,
Business, industry, and institutions of higher learning empower secondary and adult students to become self-directed learners and active participants in their community by providing a competitive advantage to pursue any career opportunity. When I came to Sussex Tech, I was given a promise that I could pursue any career opportunity. So I tried. And all that has led to is my school potentially shutting down my shop because they don't see that it is just as important as some of the other ones. The arts have always been a special place for me and the people around me. This decision affects all of us as well as the community. Mrs. Malani has created such a positive environment for all of these students to thrive. She has made it a safe space for so many students. 1 minute. Thank you. I'm sorry, I lost my This decision affects all of us as well as the community. She works so hard to make sure that her classroom or the theater can be another home for kids who need it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Before I go to the next speaker, I just want to say it's so refreshing to sit here and hear all these positive things about Sussex Tech, and that you kids are really proud of your school, and your parents are too. So thank you. We in Sussex County, we should all be proud to have this school.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Molly Williamson from Wantage, New Jersey. I'm a sophomore in theater arts, and I'm so lucky to be one of Alana's students. Theater arts, graphics, and architecture are all safe places for these students, whether it's a safe place from home, a safe place with trusted peers, or simply a place where they feel accepted and at peace with a clear gateway to their future. This theater program has been a safe place for the LGBTQ+, the disabled, and neurodivergent communities. These communities have struggled to find safe places, and now the school wants to take one of the few places that these students have. Taking this is going to make the people part of these communities feel unsafe and unwanted. The arts are needed at this school, the arts are needed in this society, and taking them away will force the students here to either disconnect from their peers or make them leave and go somewhere better, where their futures seem better. Without these shops, they are making the dreams and aspirations of these students disappear, making the current students and future students feel as though their own futures and their lives are irrelevant compared to money. Bologna has done so much for all of us in her class, not just through our education, but also socially and mentally. She has been a positive influence for each and every one of us. And through our education in theater, we have also been able to learn skills in theater, and also valuable skills that we can use in any field. These 3 shops may not be seen as important or influential to others, but to the people around and involved, we see how important these shops and programs really are. We are realistically just as important as any other field. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peter Lachenauer from Branchville. My son is a freshman at Tech in the graphic communications program, and to say the least, he is not one to put himself out there, to step out of his comfort zone, but he did. He put together a project, he went for an interview, and he got in. And if this gets taken away from him, I don't know the next time that he would put himself out there again. Because how often do we talk about children who won't go that extra mile, who don't feel that the world has their back? And if we take this away from them, we're telling them that they're right about that, that we do not support them, that it's not worth going that extra step and putting themselves out there and doing that extra bit, because it's just going to evaporate on them anyway. We're telling them it's not worth it. We have to show them that it's worth it for them to do the extra, to put themselves out there, to make themselves vulnerable, to stretch for that little bit more, because we are going to support them. We have to. We owe that to our children. We owe them to teach them that this is worth their time and not something that, despite their best efforts, is going to be ripped away from them after the fact. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Leo, I live in Green Township. Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for taking the time to listen. My name is John Leo. My daughter Elsa is a freshman at Tech, and she is in the theater arts program, which she absolutely loves. I want to take a minute to speak on behalf of all 3 of the shops, because I think these students, as we probably all know, and many of us being parents, went through an extraordinarily difficult time. We all had a difficult time with the pandemic, but imagine being a middle schooler at the time of the pandemic and how difficult that was to have your middle school years disrupted in the way that it was. Sussex Tech gave each of these students the opportunity to say, this is who I am. I'm willing to apply and commit myself and have the maturity to dedicate my high school years to these specific shops. I think it's highly commendable, and Ms. Space, as you said, we should be extraordinarily proud of this school and of each of the teachers involved and each of the students involved. I think we should do everything that we can do from a funding standpoint to find ways to continue to support the students who are currently there so that they don't lose the opportunity that they've already embarked upon, and that we don't lose the opportunity for future students to follow in their footsteps. With specific regard to theater arts, I want to emphasize that just how transferable and just how valuable the skills are that they're learning. In addition to their work on the stage, they also study theater. Every college admissions test and every college program looks for critical writing skills, critical reading skills, and those, of course, are valuable in all walks of life. They learn that by studying theater, which is a little bit more challenging than picking up the comic strip and reading the comic strip. If they have to read Shakespeare or Chaucer or whoever it is, they're learning to read critically, and they can use that skill in all
1 minute.
All walks of life. Wish I had more time. I want to transition, because I could talk about how great all of these things are for a bit, but what I want to do, and I'm sure you've heard all these things, is the question now is how do we find a solution? My understanding is that the funding comes from their sending districts, from the county, which has supported the school's budget, and from the state. So talk about the school applying for building permits and such. So I really think it's a question of will. Hopefully the assemblymen and the senators are engaged as well, because I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way. And I can't think of a better way to support these students and support the school than to keep these programs going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. It takes a crisis to bring people together, so I'm hoping that this turns into a positive thing. I want to thank Mr.
Can you just state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get there. I don't want this to count as my time yet. I want to thank Jack DeBruyne.
You're on the clock, sir.
I want to thank Mr. Sheik for actually showing up to the last event. My name is Frank Cunha. I live in Hardyston, New Jersey. I have 2 sons currently enrolled at Sussex Tech. Their older brother graduated 2 years ago. I'm here today to speak on behalf of the architecture program. I'm speaking as a concerned parent as well as someone who has dedicated my time to support the students of this important program as an advisor, mentor, and juror to the students. I have 3 points of discussion. Number 1 is the students. First and most important is the students. They have dedicated 1, 2, 3 years of their lives to pursue the career of architecture. In teenage years, that's like 10 or 20 years. It's heartbreaking for the students to learn that their hard work invested in the program was all for nothing. All those countless late nights and weekends working on countless projects and presentations all for nothing, especially after pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into the projects. Broken promises and abandonment by the people appointed to serve and protect them. The architecture profession is a challenging one that blends art and science. The program offers students a wide array of skills from public speaking to creativity, things like model making, computer drafting, problem solving, and teamwork. Overcoming challenges and facing their shortcomings strengthens their resilience and helps them grow as individuals. Secondly is the programs. It looks like a targeted attempt to eliminate certain programs due to some sort of political agenda. As we all know, the humanities are a critical component of a well-rounded education, but they have been under attack lately by the very people who claim to be liberal-minded. The humanities, the very programs you propose to eliminate, prepare students for college and the real world to be well-rounded individuals, each one shining bright in their own way. They become people who can think for themselves in a world where thinking for yourself is no longer the majority. The humanities teach us ethics, values, and tradition in a world that increasingly has no value for these lessons. The rigor and structure of the program instills work ethic and love of knowledge in each student. It also teaches each student who they are through their projects. It gives them a positive way to express their creativity.
1 minute.
Is there a rational reason why these programs are being cut without consideration for evolution, expansion, or consolidation? There are new technologies and innovations that should be considered, technologies like AI. In my opinion, it is extremely short-sighted to eliminate programs unilaterally and without a phasing plan. For those who may not know, this program is a pipeline for the profession by preparing students for university admissions. These students go on to find work as architects in firms throughout our state after they graduate. The students go on to represent who we are as a community. Without this program, we will be underrepresented as a county in the profession of architecture, Our children have no other feasible alternatives. Funding, we need a better accounting of how the board is spending the public funds and why are these programs being defunded abruptly. As a practicing architect, I did not have the opportunity to attend the technical school. I did not have a head start and had to play catch up to keep up with my college classmates. My wife and I did our best to get our children excited about careers early on in their lives, during grade school. And I'm going to speak on behalf of my wife, who donated personal time and money to the school. Cindy? They won't let me read it, so you read it.
Yeah, she can read. Thank you.
Sorry to
I'm gonna say my own thing.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
We do have
Just
a line,
name.
though. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please, thank you.
Hello, my name is Katrina Manzo. I'm from Hopakon. I have 2 children attending Sussex Tech. First, I'd like to thank the commissioners for their communication over the last few days and for hearing us tonight and for seemingly taking this issue seriously. It is our obligation to protect our most vulnerable, who in this case happen to be our children. While I wholeheartedly appreciate the vote of no confidence, we cannot stop with just that. We need real solutions, and we just aren't there yet. We still don't know where the money is. We still don't have a solution. We want real answers, and we want real, continued quality education for our children. Even if that looks like a phase-out, there are other solutions. The one Mr. Modla is proposing is not the only one, and it is not the right one, to be frank. Budget should never be a reason to deprive our children of their education. We have heard from many of our kids that their shops gave them purpose and even saved their lives. I can validate this personally. 2 years ago to the month, my at the time 12-year-old daughter's immune system began attacking her brain. She nearly died. She had to learn to talk again, walk again, sees up to 10 times a day for months, and now lives with a traumatic brain injury. She still receives monthly infusion and fights hard every day just to make it through. She was lost, a shell of a child I once knew, and then she started her cinematography program at Sussex Tech. Her words, she found her purpose and reason to keep pushing through every day. How can we take that away from a child? We can't. I will tell you, one way that this affected me as a parent was it gave me fight I didn't know I had. A fight for not just my own child, but for all children. This budget issue, I can tell you, has reignited that fight in me, and just as I didn't give up on her, I will not give up on this. I would like to reiterate on the record, so it doesn't get lost, parts of an email I sent to the commissioners, the executive superintendent, the BA, and Mr. Modla. My name is Katrina Manzo. I live in Hopakon, and I have 2 children currently enrolled in Sussex County Technical School.
1 minute.
I am writing this letter to request the Sussex County Commissioners, Executive County Superintendent, or Board of Education implement a Citizens Advisory Committee for Sussex County Technical School in accordance with District Policy 9140. Not only am I ready, willing, and able to serve on that committee, but I would be honored to do so. I omitted some personal details here. Due to recent events, it seems the current Board of Education would benefit from a committee of liaisons to help ensure that the voices and perspectives of the community members are heard and considered in the decision-making process. As community members, we all want what is best for the students. I understand the current board is in a tough position, and I am willing to help. I am confident that I would be an asset to the School Citizen Advisory Committee, as I would have the opportunity to provide insight, encourage communication between the district and community, offer suggestions, and work together with all members to help SCTS work towards a successful future. I appreciate your time and consideration. Please reach out to discuss any further steps or procedures that may be necessary.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director, if I may, just real quick, anybody who does run out of time, please feel free to email the commissioner
Yes.
board the rest of whatever your statements were.
My name is Jason Bohm, and I'm a proud resident of Stillwater. You may remember I was here last month over the issue at Sussex County Community College. Commissioner Carney very graciously told me that this is a priority. When something's a priority for me, it gets done right away. Just like all of these good people at the VOTEC who keep telling you stories, right, very graciously, very politely, they keep telling you stories about how damage has already been done. Like, I've already been slandered by all my colleagues because Dr. Connolly has manipulated that. I have a lawsuit sitting there clear as day, but I'm not going to hurt the college, so I'm not going to act on it. I look to you all, my elected representatives, and I got told, very graciously again, that something would be done, right? The vote you made tonight, excellent, symbolic, but at least you did something. But like, when are you going to actually do something for real? You all are the ones who created the committees, whether or not you personally, some of you personally, you created the committees that put both these two gentlemen that are ineffectively running the only two institutions of education you're responsible for into the ground. You have people's lives being ruined. There's no one from the college here to talk other than Mr. Gaddy or myself, because I left and went to Rutgers. He's on administrative leave and everyone else is too scared. Grown people who work too hard for not enough money. You think VOTEC's underfunded? We're paying the same tuition at Sussex County Community College as students going to Montclair State, who get quadruple the amenities and actual full-time staff. We have 300 adjuncts at the county college and 12 full-time faculty members. I've been coming here since 2013 because when I was a non-traditional student, working myself to the bone, getting hospitalized with a family, trying to go to school, I was paying out the nose. And then I found out you all were ditching on your responsibility, the county. None of you were there, obviously, but the county. And it just didn't matter. You didn't care. And you know what else I noticed? Nobody on the commission's kids went to county. They didn't go to county. I go to county, okay? I am from the county. People in here are from the county. And what I think has happened, and this is across the board, it's not your all's fault, it's a whole sclerotic system in this country. Working people have no more representation in this country. Not any representation. No one listens. You bleed us dry, but you don't listen to us. And the only time you even pretend to give us back the rhetoric like you give two craps is when we do this. And I've had enough. And I've had enough so much so that although I'd rather swim through an ocean of glass, I am announcing right now that I am starting a writing campaign to run for county commissioner. Because I've had enough. I've had enough. The people of Sussex County deserve people who are going to actually represent them. And when they talk at them, they don't just use words, they actually back it up. You're going to talk the talk, walk the walk.
Hi, my name is Aiden Calderon, and I'm a freshman in the theater art shop. This shop has saved my mental health and me as a whole. Cutting this shop means I have to go back to my setting school, and I've been there before, and it's not a great fit for me. I've experienced many years of bullying, and mainly from my career choice in theater, and while I still face it at Sussex Tech, Miss Villani in the theater art shop has helped me cope and greatly improve my mental health as a whole. Cutting this shop will also decrease my chances into getting into a great college for my passion, and college will think that I just quit. And while I'm still young, I'm thinking about this every single day. I've been given so many opportunities by Miss Villani, and she has greatly improved my skill and knowledge in theater. Please just save our shops and save our futures. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Haley Phillips, and I'm from Andover, and I'm a junior in the theater arts shop. I would like to say, first of all, thank you all for listening. And if it wasn't for theater arts, I would not be up here today at all. 3 years ago, I would have never stepped up here. But here I am today. And I just wanted to say that Mr. Modla said class sizes range from 21 to 27. My classes aren't that big, so I looked out on Google Classroom and looked at all the kids. My English class has 15 kids, my math class has 19, Spanish is the only class of 24, physics is 15, my PM shop has 14, which is seniors and juniors. But if we had enrollment issues, we can always accept more kids. We have many people apply that the school does not take. Also, I don't know if you know, but if these shops get cut, we will not get certificates. I was terrified because I wanted to go into theater arts. I want to be a lighting designer, and I'm going to be a senior next year, and I would graduate with no certificate for theater. And that's what I came to the school for. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Lisa Carlson. I'm from Lafayette Township. I am a 13-year employee at Sussex Tech. 12 out of those 13 years I sat on the Lafayette Township Board of Education, so I have a little clue as to how that's supposed to go. And I appreciate your vote of no confidence, because if you came to one of our board meetings, we're faster than dominoes. We get done in 20 minutes or less, not 30. They do committee as a whole. For 12 years I've been asking for subcommittees, and I've been told that's just not how we do it. We do committee as a whole. And for those of you who don't know what that means they don't know what's on the board agenda until they sit down for that meeting and look at it. They don't get it as it's posted a week in advance. We had a board member unaware of the cuts that were happening until 3 days before the board meeting. So that's a problem. This is how we do it isn't working. We need subcommittees. We need a finance committee. Mrs. Dool, unfortunately, has stepped into it. She's been with us for a little over a year, and she is doing a great job. She has stepped into it. And it's unfortunate that she is cleaning up the mess, but she is doing a good job trying to clean up the mess. As far as the ESSER grant money is concerned, that always had an expiration date on it. That should never have been part of the budget going forward. That was given to the schools from the state with the expectation that it would fund non-sustaining programs. It was put in place mostly for mental health from coming back from the pandemic. It had an expiration date. So that's something that needs to be made aware of as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Cynthia Cunha. I'm from Hardiston Township. And I just want to say I really hate my husband right now for being here. Here we go. We have 3 boys that all went to Tech. One is in the architecture program. Last year, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor and had to have emergency surgery. So here I am again, leaving other people deciding his future. Because as you know, as a mom, when you see your child in the hospital and you don't know what's going to happen, you don't. So now I'm up here hoping to save this program. And when I tell you that administrators, teachers, families, friends, people I didn't even know reach out to me in the hospital, wanting to help in any way possible. So I hope tonight you guys will find it any way possible to save these shops. We're working together with the school and the teachers and the parents. I am the Booster Club president for the football team. Last year he could not play. And when I tell you, when you see your son with tears coming off the field because he still wants to be part of the team and be part of something, I know, because I stayed on the board and I could have walked away. So I'm hoping that no matter what, we can find a way to save these shops. That's it. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Grace Guile. I graduated from Sussex Tech last year in the commercial arts shop. I'm here because of my best friend, Madison Allen, who just gave a wonderful speech earlier. She is a junior in the theater arts program. I just want to say that I'm not affected immediately by these shop cuttings, but these shops are the best thing that could ever happen to these students. They work so hard to get into these classes, and if these shops are cut, they're deprived of friendships and careers and just overall just like a peace, having peace in like being safe in a school. The way I'm affected by shops being cut is my brother, Nathaniel Guile. He graduated from Tech in 2017. His shop was cut in 2016. He had to move to a completely new shop, which was e-commerce, which got cut last year. So we've seen this happen before to these students. I've seen people from the e-commerce shop that had to move to completely different shops that they weren't even interested in. Why would cutting the shops do us better now? Why would that make anything better for the school? The shops make the school what the school is. The teachers in these shops have helped so many of my friends grow and just pursue further education. And that's my speech. I just want to thank all of you guys for listening.
Thank
to
you
the
so
students, the parents, everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Guile, can I just get your township, please? I'm sorry. Your township.
Oh, Byron.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Logan Killel-Fraser. I am a junior in the theater arts shop. I understand enrollment numbers are a concern, but students aren't going to want to enroll in a school who's determining education with just trial and error. You can't take away our shops and throw new ones in their place hoping that they will work. Students want to be confident in their choice to go here, but they can't be confident to a school that just turns on them and abandons their future and has such a divide between the administration and its faculty, its students, and its parents. If parents are calling for the resignation of administrators, then something's wrong. Everyone here wants Tech to succeed and grow, but these new shops they're only going to do so much. Any opportunity for Tech to grow is being thrown away by eliminating theater and creating more tension between the school and its community. I came to this school because my parents and friends loved going here. This was a deciding factor for many other students too. But in the future, this isn't going to be the case. In the future, how are any of us supposed to recommend this school to our kids or to our friends or to our cousins or family? And I mean, inflation can't be blamed for these changes because inflation isn't new. It goes up every year and it's going to continue to go up. It should have been adjusted for. And I mean, what's going to happen when inflation does keep going up? Are you going to cut more shops? Again, these new shops are only going to do so much. I came from High Point, where they had many different musical and acting classes, some of which had to be split into multiple periods and multiple classes because they had such a surplus of students. They had classes for instruments and vocals and performing and creating. These are what kids want, and this is what kids need. This is what's going to draw people in, and this can be such a big thing. We can turn this into such a big thing. Lastly, I would like to address the lack of consideration taken when making this decision.
1 minute.
Mr. Madla made an argument that agriculture was not cut because it is an important piece of Sussex County. And to that I say, Drama Geeks in Crescent Theater in the Sussex Borough, North Star Theater in Ogdensburg, Newton Theater right here, Rising Star Theater in Sparta. SCTS can be the perfect place for a thriving theater department if we support it instead of tearing it down. We are right next to the biggest theater arts business in the world, New York City. The offers to juniors to give 1 more year of theater and drama club, these aren't realistic. Whether it is possible to allow students to switch shops or not, students aren't going to enroll in different shops. They're not going to change their career path and put themselves at a disadvantage to stay at Tech. They are going to enroll at other schools who support their arts. I strongly encourage our considering our student body, parents, and education, and I encourage us to come up with an efficient and effective solution instead of tearing down these shops, ruining our futures, and removing your greatest assets in us, creativity, and teachers like Ms. Baker and Ms. Milano.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Haley Frazier. I'm from Sussex County. I'm here to talk about how much cutting the shops will affect me and a bunch of others in the theater. I went to my sending district for my freshman year this year, but I was lucky enough to be accepted into the theater arts shop for this incoming year. My brother, who just spoke, was lucky enough to get a second chance to be in the theater shop for his sophomore year and now his junior year. And sorry, I lost my spot. I'm just beyond happy that I was allowed to be in the shop this incoming year. And then I was told that it's trying to be kept. To me, theater is a way for people to break out of their shell and believe that theater. For me, theater is a way for people to break out of their shell, be who they are, and forget what's outside. Theater can help us be who we are and our mental health. I just think that if theater gets cut, then they'll be affecting a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Nisha McQueen. I'm from Ogdensburg, New Jersey. I'm speaking on behalf of my daughter who's at work. She is a senior in the theater department. Just to kind of let it hit home, she received a Presidential Merit Scholarship to Pace University because of this theater department and the preparation that it gave her. She didn't even know what stage management was. And there's such a wide variety of things that Mrs. Villani teaches them. It was unbelievable. I really thought it was kind of a BS thing that she was getting into, and it's changed her drastically. You know, she has drive, she has stage presence. She doesn't even need the stage presence, but she has, you know, organizational skills, and she's learned so much from that. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys realize, she was able to present a portfolio that was complete. She has stage managed, she's actually worked for North Star as an intern, and all of these opportunities came from the Sussex Tech Theater Department. Conversely, my son would have graduated from Sussex Tech last year, but during the pandemic, he was stuck in virtual auto shop, did not want to continue once he got back. He realized that he didn't like it, but he was a sophomore, and he was denied changing to commercial art. If there had been some sort of a parent advisory committee or some sort of communication between the faculty and the parents, I think I would have been able to fight for that. And I think that would be a really good idea. Instead, we pulled him out. He went to county college, and we footed the bill for an associate's degree. He floundered. He didn't have his family. We didn't realize how important it was.
1 minute.
And it was. He really went downhill and is still struggling. He's getting it back together, but it's been a couple of years that didn't have to be that way. He should have been able to stay where he is, and they could have worked through it. So I think the Parent Advisory Committee is a great idea to start communication, because there's been a divide. It seems like in the last few years, especially, where parents really haven't felt welcome, and I think that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
On another note, Marge McCabe, I am the secretary of the Newton Rotary Club. If you didn't know it, Newton Rotary is 100 years old. It was started in Newton by 18 very dedicated businessmen, 2 of whom were Charles Iliff and William Dolan, very prominent names in this county. Over the years, we have made significant contributions to our community. Did you know that the 2 stanchions that are on the sides of Spring Street that hold the banners were donated by the Newton Rotary? Did you know that some of our members individually donated the land for the hospital, donated the land for Memory Park and the pool? So the organization has been very prominent in this town, and I'm very proud of the fact that we've lasted 100 years. Some of our members now include Larry Condit, Mark Hans, John Iliff, Bob McCracken, Nancy Morrissey, Heidi Weber, Buzz Tomasino, John Frank, George Morville, and Alden Welsh. And that's just a few of our 60 members. So in honor of our 100th anniversary, we're having a dinner. It will be May 16th at the Newton Country Club. And if I may, I would like to give some invitations.
Thank you.
Thank you. The deadline was the 24th, but I'd like to extend that. I left my phone number on the envelope, and that we would love to have any of you come and celebrate with us.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Melissa Marino, Andover Township. I just want to put it out there that I came here a couple of hours ago with the intention of just participating and not speaking. And after listening for quite some time, my heart is racing a million miles an hour right now. But after listening for quite some time, I did feel compelled to stand before you just to let you know how I feel about the current situation. So with that being said, the speech was made in the moment. I would like to begin by saying thank you for taking the time to listen to each and every one of our concerns regarding all of the challenges we are currently facing at the Sussex County Technical School. My son, Cale Marino, was accepted to Sussex Tech in March of 2024 and enrolled in their culinary program in September of 2024. While he could not be here tonight, I can assure you that he has made every effort, every day, to express his concerns and disappointment with the decision to eliminate or reduce late busing, remove 3 shops, cut a fabulous teacher like Mrs. Baker, and terminate an amazing ski club program Mrs. Lynch has been running for over 30 years, or close to 30 years. I also want to make sure that you are fully aware of the lack of transparency that Gus Mulda has portrayed with the students, staff, parents, and community. While I have social media accounts like Facebook and Instagram, I do not frequent them often or on a regular basis. I have a degenerative eye disease and I do not see the same way that you do. I try to stay off social media as much as I possibly can, but unfortunately we live in a community and an environment where it's next to near impossible to do so. I make every effort to try to keep informed, and these parents have been nothing but supportive and loving and embracing to me and my son, and making sure that we were well aware of all the things that were available to us at Tech. Mr. Mola has not. The mere fact that the superintendent suggested that the information regarding the financial challenges that we are facing with Sussex Tech was available on their website is quite frankly a joke. Their website is far from helpful and a result, something that I do not frequent often.
1 minute.
I feel that the lack of making the community fully aware of the deficits and the suggested cuts were purposeful. I did not receive the answers I was looking for today from Mr. Modla about the data used to make these decisions. Instead, I heard a subjective perspective that did nothing but add further shade to the matter at hand. I am begging you to make every effort to help Sussex Tech come back from this setback so that we can ensure all the kids get what they were promised with their shops. Keep an extremely valuable teacher, Mrs. Baker, who has addressed all of my child's special needs and has ensured that he has been academically successful for the first time in his academic career. Sussex Tech has saved my son, and they have saved thousands of children. I am begging you to please keep your vested interest because this school is worth it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christy Levin, Hardiston. I want to start with, I'm so nervous up here, even as a grown-up, so I really am so impressed with the children that showed up and the courage that they displayed. First off, I just want to say that I do have a vested interest in tech. I have a stepson that graduated. I have a daughter that's a junior, and I have a son who is hoping to go into the engineer program, and he's very excited about that prospect. So something that was stated earlier was about how, hearing positive things about Sussex Tech, and I can only say positive things. I'm so grateful for the school. I think it's so unique, and it really appeals to children's skill set that you're not going to find somewhere else. So I'm very grateful for it. It wasn't until recently that I had anything to be concerned about, and last week I attended the Board of Ed meeting, and I was struck by the public coming out and speaking. The testimonies from the kids, some of the kids that spoke today spoke then, and it was beautiful and compelling, them sharing their vulnerability. Also, I think it's worth mentioning, the Dean of NJIT showed up, and he was advocating, in addition to some local filmmakers, which I didn't know we had, just to come out and speak to the importance of the shops that were being cut. I recognize that this board has limitations in what you can and cannot do. I just implore you to do whatever is within your power. Clearly, there's a vested interest in our community for Sussex Tech, and nothing really has moved me more than the children that have come forward, and I'm sure that you guys have been as well. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Irene Milligan, Hardiston. My son's a freshman, architecture. Don't know where I'm going with this. I was prepared last week. But my main concern is I hope this isn't just for this year. Like, last week I explained, 2 weeks ago, last week, exhausted. We need to, if we're cutting anything, phase it out. It's not fair. They can't see the forecast. They couldn't even make eye contact with us last week. Playing on their phones. God, I hate public speaking. I cry when I'm mad. No consideration for the kids, for their hard work, to be accepted. Freaking kneecaps are shaking. My heart's racing. It's not fair. They worked hard. Whether it's 1 year in, 3 years in, you guys, I hope you're not looking at this year. I don't do elections. I'm sorry. I don't vote. I'll tell you right now, I've never voted. I apologize. Too busy with medical and other things to deal with. Take it however you want. I'm honest. I have no filter. But don't do what you're going to do for 1 year. Make sure whatever you're doing that you can help, it at least affects who's enrolled and going forward. Like, don't talk about the classes either. That's nonsense. I'm telling you now, I can't talk to them, right? That's what
You're gonna address
It's
us.
nonsense. Because architecture's full. The class for this coming year, it's full. There's a waiting list. So that one should not be on the cutting board. Just simply shouldn't. I'm making eye contact with you because I feel comfortable. Sorry. If you want to be comfortable.
You can make eye contact with me.
I'm mad. I said last week, I own my own business. If I can run my business and I can see maintenance, forecast, and make sure my guys are taken care of in the winter, no one's left out or blindsided, you guys should all be able to do it. They never once asked us for help. Alumni saying they did 3 fundraisers a year to raise money. We haven't done one. There was a little girl in the front seat who wanted to speak before. One of the parents deterred her. Told her to go. She's not going to be heard. I told the dad she should stay. They left. She's in engineering. I was eavesdropping.
1 minute.
She has not even got to touch a machine. It's all paperwork. Like, what did she say? Sophomore? Junior? They haven't touched the machine. She's complaining there's $1 million of machinery in there they're not even touching. So if we're not using machines in there, why are we getting rid of them? No offense. Cut whatever you need to. But there's got to be other ways to change the budget. And just don't take the new kids, or you shouldn't have accepted the new kids. Like, no one should be planning on coming there as a freshman. Or take those classes and phase it out if you really have to. But help all these kids. They've really earned it. My son goes there, he doesn't really he does well in school, but high honor roll since he's been there. Like, puts in 100%, and I don't feel like the school's giving them 10%. That's kind of all I have to say. Thank you.
You did good with public speaking. You did good with public speaking.
I hate it.
Come back next time.
6 kids. Exactly, 6 kids. This is the second meeting I've ever attended. And it was for the board and for this. And it's not fair.
So 2 in 1 week, you're on a roll.
Harvey Rosef, Byron. So most of what I was going to say, I think has already been said. I kind of wanted to hit on some of the highlights that rang true with me. One is theater arts. The kids that are in theater arts are great communicators. And that's a very valuable thing to learn, whether it's in school or 20 years later. You want to learn it in school. And that's very important out of theater arts. And it was one word that really resonated, and that was the situation was absurd. And that's what it sounds like tonight. There was some talk on phase-outs. A number of people have mentioned the word phase-out. I think the better word is transition, if it's going to be ended, because transition is a positive word. And it also means somebody thought of a plan, and it's not there. And even the phase-out, you can't call it a phase-out. It was just a door closing. So the other thing I wanted to mention was when you look at school budgeting, it's got all these acronyms. It's got money coming from a million directions, a bunch of different timelines, different purposes, and you can get very lost. And there was the word mentioned tonight, ESSER funds are going away. And as also mentioned earlier tonight, ESSER funds were designed to go away. They were only temporary funds. So things went wrong in Sussex County, probably all across America. ESSER funds were used for operational needs. They were used for things that were supposed to continue. And that was a wrong use. ESSER funds should have been for a temporary need. And anything that was funded with ESSER funds
1 minute.
should be looked at as to why ESSER funds gravitated to that need, because that's the problem that you have in front of you now. There was mention of Vernon. Vernon's a poster child for short-term money. They hired dozens of teachers, and then within, I think, 2 years or a year and a half, they fired them all. And nobody knew why. They had to hire a forensic accountant. And if you want to look at a system that went bad, went financially on the rocks, it's still ongoing, and it's still Vernon. Lastly, my family's been in theater for over a century. It should be valued. It's the one business China's not going to take from us. And it's also, it gravitates to all different directions. Business, creative, clothing. I mean, my family's been from A to Z.
Time.
Small business and large business. You should value theater arts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sylvia Nowicka. I'm from Hamburg. I've emailed with many of you commissioners this week. I appreciate the two of you who came out to our Board of Education meeting last week. I stand up here with nothing prepared. I don't know what I'm going to say. My daughter is a freshman in the architecture program this year, and I am so disappointed with Sussex Technical School. I heard so many wonderful things about this school when we applied. And my daughter's had the best year, and she's grown so much. She's made a family for herself in architecture. They do Friday breakfasts as a family together. Her teacher has brought them to a level that they just, the things that he expects of them, that they expect of themselves. It's the maturity that I've seen this year has just been remarkable. I wish I could see that growth in the administration. To say that we learned all of these cuts online through a rumor, when we reached out to the administration, we were met with silence. I still have not heard back from the email that I sent. Mrs. Space, when you asked Mr. Mabla the question today of what could have been done, there was no answer. There was no what could have been done. The architecture for September has 19 incoming freshmen that currently have no spot because the shop is being cut. How is that shop not thriving? Last Wednesday, Sussex Tech stood in front of the Sparta Planning Board with their new plans for expansion, with architects at their side, yet Mr. Mabla said tonight that the shops being cut have no future in the county.
1 minute.
Architects are a very high demanding career in this day and age. We had a speaker at the Board of Education meeting that said Sparta, I believe it was the mayor of Sparta, that said Sparta is becoming a theater town. They're going to be movie and TV show ready. How are these shops not having a future in our community when we have the need for theater, we have the need for architects? The commercial graphics that is being cut make all the posters and banners for our school. So we would rather outsource that to businesses than to keep that in-house. All of these things are just astonishing to me as a taxpayer, as a parent, and I know you guys don't have much say over what happens in the school, but I ask, as someone did, if there's anything that can be done from your side to please perhaps bring an audit, an independent audit to our school to see where the money is. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Candace Smith, Hopatcong. I just would be remiss if I didn't say the Sussex County Community College is performing, starting tomorrow night, Arsenic and Old Lace. It may seem like, why is she saying this now? But how else are we going to get the message out? This is a positive thing where students who are loving theater are sharing that love with audiences, but they can't have an audience if you don't know about it. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, next weekend, Friday, Saturday. please come out and see Old Arsenic and Old Lace. It is Sussex County at its best in theater, in addition to the best that I'm hearing about here. Thank you.
Good evening, Alan Henderson. I just realized my first generation gap when everybody walked up with their cell phone and I'm writing it. My cell phone's in the truck. I promise you I do have one. But I just want to make a comment. I'm going to bring you back to my own town of Lafayette Township, where I sit as the mayor of Lafayette. Our Board of Ed in Lafayette currently has a finance committee and a planning committee. I find it hard to believe a school of this size does not have any committee set up, and it's left to 2 people to decide what they're going to do with this budget. I find that astonishing to me. Another thing that sticks out to me, and I will praise all these parents and students for coming out and speaking. It's not easy to come out and voice your opinion. I have grandchildren. My children, fortunately, they're grown and did not go to VOTEC. I wish they had. I can tell you, I wish I did myself. I just want to tell you, don't quit the fight. There is a fight. There is a battle. I think it can be done. And as I say, I have no children in VOTEC, but if you need a volunteer to sit on that board, I would be the first to stand up for any of these kids or parents in this room. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Louis Mogan. I'm in Hamburg. My mother spoke just a few minutes ago. I also hate public speaking. I know everyone wants to get back home. I got 30-minute drive
We're
back
good.
home right now.
Keep going.
And I just want to say that my shop, architecture, I don't feel like it's been talked about enough. I hear theater arts being talked about all the time. I know it's important. I see it everywhere. It's entertainment, and we need entertainment for people. And not only that, graphic design, the sweatshirts you wear, the clothes you wear, the things you see in advertisement buildings. It's everywhere. And even in this room right now, I can see the architecture all around. I see some parts over there I can critique. Already, 1 year in my architecture class that I want to go ahead and build upon myself. I'm shaking right now.
You're good.
I believe that we could do much more, and hearing all the other things, I believe they shouldn't have except new freshmen. Full class students for architecture, which I'm shocked because last year we had a lot of people come in too. I believe that other shops shouldn't be cut, but I feel like there should be budget restrictions. I don't feel like engineering should have as much as a budget raise when other shops are being taken out, and as I just heard, not even touching the machinery that they have, which are millions of dollars. Architecture ourselves, we learn many important things, and we've grown as a family, basically. We became really close. I believe that we don't use much of the budget. I believe that we can learn and do well without having to have as much taken away from us. I don't really know what else to say, but thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Dawn Baker, Hopatcong. I was not going to speak, however, one thing, I am a mom of a freshman. He's in the engineering program. This does not affect him directly per se. There are issues with some of what I've been hearing as far as late busing and all of that. That does affect our family. I work in Florham Park. I live in Hopatcong. My son goes to school in Sparta. It took me an hour and a half to get here tonight just to sit back and listen. This school seems to pit class against class. They seem to pit parents against students, and they're all battling each other. Mr. Modla, I'm not supposed to speak to him. We actually have a meeting. I've never met him before, never saw him before. Weeks ago, several of us went to a first PTA meeting and found out that there is no connection between the PTA and the school. There's an untapped resource here. Look at all of our parents showing up. I don't know any of them. I shouldn't say that. I know Ms. Manzo. But I don't know these other parents. But I showed up for their kids, about their shops, while I listened to so many talk about the engineering program who happens to have a teacher who writes their grants. They get money. They bring money into the school. So why aren't we tapping into that resource? You have a teacher right there at Sussex Tech who can write grants. Ask him to help. Mr. Modla doesn't seem to be asking any of us for help. We're here. We're asking to help. So let us do that. There's no fundraising being done by the PTA for anything, with the exception of a luncheon for the teachers, which, God bless them all, they deserve it, project graduation, and some scholarships that they can't even fund. There's also class advisors who are supposed to be running fundraisers for our kids over the course of their 4 years. I only just found that out last month. I know nothing about what happens in the school, and we were so excited. My son worked hard to get into that program. He studied, he
1 minute
interviewed. He went through so much to get into that, and he's isolating himself. He does not like the environment in the school. We don't like the environment in school. It's awful. Talk to us. Why is no one talking to us? Everyone is pitted against each other when we should be working together to earn this money, to fund these programs, and all of the things that these senior kids want to go for. We've got senior class trips that are being funded by fundraisers through the class advisors, but the PTA is not involved at all. There's only 58 paid members in the PTA. All of these parents back here, I don't think they even know that their PTA is not working for the entire school. We are running to take over the board of the PTA. Several of us have stepped in and put our names in. This parent committee or community committee that you're talking about sounds amazing and should be working with the school and the PTA so that we can all come together and raise the money. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Before we close the meeting. Yeah. I am going to make a motion to close the floor for public comment and return to regular business. I'm looking for a motion. Okay, Deputy Director Carney, and can I get a second? Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I have something. I'm finishing this. Motion carries. Okay, and we are going to go back to the public hearing number 7. So I'm going back to that. There. We have more information on the vacation bridges.
Before you start that, I just want to say a couple things, just because I appreciate everybody coming out, but I just want to clear up a couple things. We have liaisons for a reason, and number one, the most important reason is because we don't want to create a quorum. For those who don't know what a quorum is, it's basically the Sunshine Law, which states that there can be no more than 2 commissioners at a meeting. So if we have a commissioner there, if Commissioner Schick and Commissioner DeGroot was there, they're able to speak. So that's why we're not always at certain meetings. So it's not because we don't care. Trust me, we don't. By the way, my son goes to SCC, so that comment was egregious. We do care. Just because our kids don't go doesn't mean we don't care. We have friends. We live here. We live in the county. We have friends and family that go to VOTEC and SCC. So I don't want to hear that we don't care. We are doing our best that we can. We are limited at what we can do. But I will tell you what, since we found out this last week, pretty much to the day, 7 days ago, we've been working real hard. Over the weekend, I met with some folks to find out, some details from people that work there or go there. I know Commissioner Schick and Commissioner DeRue, they went to the meeting. As Director Space said, she was looking at the minutes for hours and hours. So we really are. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. And we're going to continue. We're going to continue to help. As you heard us speak.
And we care about the school, or we would never have asked the school to present tonight. We would have just gone on with our meeting and we would be home. but we were happy to get the school in front of us. We need to hear, and we are supportive. We are supportive of your school, supportive of you. We want you guys to succeed because we want all of you to succeed because we want to keep the school going. Yes. I love the school.
And just one more thing, you all come out, and that's great. But you should always go to meetings. You should always go to board meetings, no matter good times or bad times. Just keep going. Find out what's going on in the school. That's you have a vested interest, and you should keep going. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Now we're going to go back to, during our 5-minute break, we got some information on the number 7, the public hearing. Should I reread it? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna reread it, and we are going to.
Well, are we going to discuss the additional information, or council?
Yes.
Are we able to bring this back up? Since we said there was a motion to table it to the next meeting.
If there is going to be a motion now,
and there's a second, we can have a discussion and consider it.
Okay.
If you're bringing this back before the board.
I'll make a motion for the board to bring this back into consideration. So I'll make a motion to bring the vacation of bridges X52 and C06 back to the board. Okay, I made the motion, Commissioner DeGroot seconded the motion. Any discussion? Yes. Should I reread it, or can we go right into the discussion?
We need a vote.
Oh, we need a vote.
Unless
Okay.
there's discussion about bringing it back to the table.
Okay, yep, so this is the vote to bring it back to the table. So I think a motion vote, I think that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Are you?
I'd rather just wait till I could read the information. No offense, I just
Okay,
want to.
okay, so
you can
motion,
discuss it. You're gonna-
motion carries. So I'm going to open it back up for discussion, and do you want to take this one?
Well, now we are going to have a motion. We have to have the motion, read it again.
Okay, and then we can have
One and second, then we'll have the discussion.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. At our regular meeting held on March 27th, 2024, we introduced for first reading the following resolution, which was advertised in the New Jersey Herald issues of March 29th, 2024, April 5th, 2024, April 12th, 2024, April 19th, 2024, together with the notice of public hearing stating it would be held at this meeting at 6 p.m. Implementing the procedure to effect the vacation of Bridge X52 located on Black Dirt Road in Wantage Township and Bridge C06 located on a private common driveway at the end of Necong Avenue in Byram Township. Said vacation procedure to be implemented after notice and hearing in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 27:16-28B. So now I make a motion to get, starting it from scratch?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I get him to do the public hearing? Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
We do have to do the public hearing again?
Yes, do it again.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be opened?
Still moved.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney, and a second, Commissioner DeGroot. Is there anyone present to be heard regarding this resolution? Okay. No one wanting to be heard. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed? Okay. We got Commissioner Hayden making the motion and Commissioner DeGroot second. Okay, and voice vote, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay, abstain. Okay. Can I get a, well, we're going to discuss it after. Okay. Can I get a motion that this resolution be finally adopted? I will make the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney. Okay, I'm going to open this up for discussion. During our break, before our 5-minute break, we got word from Bill Copenal from Division of Planning that this road was maintained by Byram Township, and Byram Township is no longer maintaining it because it is not a public road. It is a private road. So therefore, they've relinquished their responsibility to the road and the bridge, and we are hoping to release the bridge also.
Yes, so we spoke with Bill Copenal. He informed us that Byram was maintaining it, they were shoveling it or plowing it and running it. As a result, then we were inspecting it and maintaining the structure of the bridge since they were maintaining the road. Byram did an investigation, found that it's a private property and private road. They did a resolution saying it no longer belongs to them. We got a copy of that. As a result, as a public entity, we can't take care of private property, hence the reason why we're relinquishing the bridge.
Right.
Because then we're no longer responsible for it. That's how it came about. That's why then we're doing the resolution.
Yes.
So to clarify, we were following suit of Byram.
Correct.
Okay.
And he did go over this with us in the agenda meeting, because I knew I had heard this. I'm like, where did I hear this before? But that was the agenda meeting,
Yeah.
and we could have relayed the information to the other commissioners, but I just never,
we were all there.
Yeah.
You're going over 20 things out.
So, any other discussion?
We do have all the supporting documents that Byram gave it up.
Yes.
So that's fine then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I, again, will make the motion that the resolution be finally adopted and authorize the clerk to advertise this resolution as finally adopted and also post same on the bulletin board in the lobby of the County Administration Center. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, Deputy Director Carney makes a second. A roll call vote, please.
Commissioner DeGroot?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Schick?
Yes.
Director Space?
Yes.
Deputy Director Carney?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, now we are at number 23, reminders. Please check the county's website at www.sussex.nj.us for meeting schedules. We have no executive session, so number 25 is an adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Higgins, motion and a second.
Second.
Deputy Director Carney, any discussion? All in favor, opposed, abstained, motion carries. Meeting closed at
9:23.
9:23.